Alright, you and I are diving into a brand new masterpiece, Reincarnated Sword Emperor of the Swordsmanship family. If you love the story, please give me a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Meet the Cadenas, a military powerhouse, keeping peace across the empire with 7 legendary knight legions. Each one packs as much heat as an entire country. The elite of the elite is the Golden Dragon Knight Corps, reserved only for those with the purest direct bloodline. These direct descendants are rumored to have actual dragon blood flowing through their veins. They are born with shimmering gold hair and matching eyes, living symbols of the noble dragons they represent. Young hatchlings gather here to awaken that hidden power tucked deep inside them. From direct blood members using special elemental powers to branch family members pushing their limits just to survive, everyone is sharpening their blades and testing their grit right here at the Cadenas training grounds. William tightens his grip on his sword, stepping back to steady his stance. Opposite him, Verita launches a desperate counterattack, but he looks completely untouched while she is left gasping for air. As they clash, Verita's mind is racing with disbelief and frustration. No way. Even if he's the top dog, I thought we could take him if we worked together. She glances at Leonard slumped in a corner. How did rank 4 get taken out that fast? She grits her teeth, bracing for his next move with everything she has. Now, pay attention. This is where the speed reaches a level you and I can barely track. Verita freezes, her eyes shrinking in pure terror as a shadow blurs past her. She barely has time to think a single curse. Damn it. I cannot even see his movements. Verita collapses to the ground as William looks down with a cold, mocking stare. Is this really all the two of you can do together? I cannot believe we are all supposed to be direct bloodlines who have awakened our special attributes. You are no match for me. You are just as weak as the trash in the branch families. Well, this ends here. The winner of this selection is obviously going to be me. At the headquarters of the Cadenas Young Dragon Knight Corps, the high-ranking officials are watching closely. Fabian watches the entire fight through the surveillance system and notes that this year's students have impressive skills. So, who do you think deserves the special grade title? His assistant asks while looking at the data. True, there are plenty of promising young talents, but only one truly fits the bill. Number 1, William. Even when number 2 and number 4 teamed up, they could not even touch a single hair on his head. The official nods. Number 2 and number 4 were both direct bloodline members, right? The assistant confirms that is correct. Fabian continues his inquiry, asking how the rest of the participants are holding up. The assistant reports that the branch family members have been nearly wiped out, with only a few survivors clinging to teams led by the direct line. Let's pause here, because we're seeing it again, the absolute wall of bloodline heritage that seems impossible to climb. On this training ground, numbers are everything. Being number 1 means you are the absolute strongest among hundreds of students. So, giving William the special grade title is just common sense at this point. Fabian makes his choice, saying there is no need for further debate. They decide to lock in William for the top spot. Bruno, who had been silent the whole time, finally speaks up and cuts through their conversation. Wait just a second. We should keep watching for a little bit longer. Fabian is caught off guard. And why is that? Bruno meets his gaze with a serious, unwavering expression. There is one branch family member who is different. Watch his skills first, then make your final decision. Now Fabian is curious. He asks for the student's identification number. Bruno answers immediately. It is number 25. He seems to sense something special in this kid. Fabian nods thoughtfully. I see. So even among the branch trash, someone is trying to climb the ranks. Number 25 might be good, but I doubt he will reach my expectations. Still, if the head instructor is saying this, there must be a reason. Fabian mutters the name Leonard Cadenas. Bruno adds that the kid suddenly started shining a few days ago, crushing anyone who dared to stand in his way. In almost no time, he jumped from rank 381 all the way to 25. The assistant is skeptical, thinking it's a joke, but Bruno points to the screen. Just look. Leonard is facing William now. Trust me. You and I need to see how this ends. All right, you and I are about to see a massive U-brogue shock the entire world. Leonard isn't fazed or intimidated at all, replying quite coolly. That's fine. Honestly, I am not really in the mood to go easy on you either. Then I don't have to hold back anymore. Challenged like that, William's eyes widen in absolute shock. Now watch this. William grips his sword, radiating pure murderous intent. Trash like you dares? Draw your blade. I'll teach you a lesson. Leonard just watches him, making his own assessment. I see. That number 1 rank isn't just for show. This pressure is totally different from all the others. Regaining his cool, Leonard smirks. Let's see what this top-ranked fighter is actually made of. Pointing his sword at William, Leonard says, Come on. I'm the one who's teaching the lesson here. He tells himself he needs to see how far his current strength can actually take him. Suddenly, William leaps high into the air, launching a crushing overhead attack. Leonard stays strangely calm, silently watching the figure descend with terrifying, lightning-fast speed. William roars, "I've decided to swing this hard. I'll crush you and your sword together." Leonard shows zero emotion. He just stands there, unbothered by William's intense bloodlust, like a mountain standing firm in a storm. Next, Leonard uses both his hands to raise his heavy sword and block that crushing strike from above, creating a powerful shockwave that ripples out across the entire arena grounds. William freezes. He can't believe his ultimate overhead strike was actually stopped. Their blades clash for a split second before Leonard easily shoves the rank 1 fighter back. William stumbles back, struggling to stay on his feet after that surprising show of raw strength. Leonard stares coldly. "My sword won't break against an apprentice like you." He smirks with total confidence. William isn't done. He rushes back in, unleashing a flurry of continuous, high-speed strikes, but Leonard dodges every single one perfectly. Watching this, Bradley can't help but be impressed. This sword style is rare. It is definitely not the standard Cadenas technique, but it is impressive. Not a single wasted movement. He is parrying every attack with the bare minimum effort. You and I can see he hasn't even started his real counterattack yet. William screams in a rage. "You insect! Are you only good at running away?" He swings with massive force, sending Leonard flying back. Though Leonard keeps a perfect guard in midair, his feet skid across the dirt as he fights to stabilize his position and stop the slide. Suddenly, the atmosphere turns cold as both fighters release their hidden, explosive energy at once. William charges like a violent storm, while Leonard maintains his hauntingly calm composure. He stands there quietly, ready to face the overwhelming wave of energy about to swallow the arena. Moments later, Leonard lands slowly right in front of a stunned William. Brushing the dust off his clothes, he walks forward casually. "Your power? It is actually impressive." Unlike him, William is losing his mind. He swings wildly, desperate to land a hit. Leonard tilts his head, dodging the sharp edge by an inch, as William screams fill the air. "You talk big for someone who just runs. Stand still and fight me seriously." Leonard stays silent, effortlessly leaping back to keep a safe distance between them. He stares at William, analyzing him. Strength is one thing, but his judgment is not bad either. Watching his opponent descend into a frenzy, Leonard reaches a cold, final conclusion. He lacks the experience of life and death combat. For an elite student, this is your limit. William suddenly freezes in place. "Wait, what did you just say to me?" A sudden blow sends him flying. He barely recovers, leaving the crowd in total disbelief. No way. Is number 25 actually going toe-to-toe with the top-ranked student? He feels like a completely different person. His red eyes glow like a strike of lightning. Leonard hits the ground and accelerates. William grinds his teeth. "Damn it, I lost him." Leonard appears right under him. "When did you?" William's jaw drops in pure terror. Trust me, William is about to learn how dangerous Leonard truly is. "All right, you and I are about to watch the moment." Leonard smirks and declares, "You lost." Number 1. He doesn't hesitate, unleashing a devastating wave of energy straight at William. The blow connects instantly. William's eyes roll back in pure agony as blood erupts from his throat. This kind of power was impossible for the old Leonard. But everything is different now. His memories have finally returned. He remembers his past life as Ren, the legendary warrior once feared and worshipped as the world's greatest sword emperor. Ren was a man who lived only for the blade. With a single strike, he could effortlessly split the very sky in two. His power was enough to level massive mountains, earning him the prideful title of Sword Emperor through sheer, overwhelming force. But pay attention here, even that wasn't enough. He decided to challenge the Heavenly Demon, the strongest monster of the era. Their brutal life and death struggle lasted for days, pushing far beyond the limits of what any human could endure. People say the sheer shockwaves from their clash actually redrew the map of the entire region. Under a blood-red moon and surrounded by complete ruins, two figures stood exhausted. Leonard, covered in bloody wounds and gasping for air, finally asked a desperate question. "I don't understand. My technique should have reached absolute perfection by now, shouldn't it? So why?" In his confusion, he threw question after question at the silent Heavenly Demon. "Why couldn't my blade even touch you?" The demon just smirked back at him with cold amusement. "It is because of the basics. You never truly understood the real nature of the sword. You did well to gamble your entire life and fight me to this point. However, your failure to respect the most basic fundamentals of the blade eventually became the fatal weakness that led to your ultimate downfall." Leonard tightened his grip on his sword, his voice trembling with rage. "You say I lack the basics? It sounded like a pathetic, overused insult. But the heavenly demon suddenly cut him off. It is meaningless. For a stray dog like you to even stand against me was impressive enough. When you fall, the legend of Ren ends in total failure. I will show you one last bit of respect. Rest, now. To the man the world once worshipped as the Sword Emperor, finally, Leonard gave up. He collapsed onto the cold ground, sighing at how easily everything had ended. He wondered if he could just do it all over again one more time. Would his sword finally be able to reach his enemy? And just like that, the legend of the Sword Emperor Ren ended in absolute, crushing defeat. Now, you and I are about to see a new legend begin in a place no one could have ever predicted. Night fell under a full moon as voices whispered nearby. Is he still breathing? Damn it. Should we call the instructor? Leonard suddenly bolted awake, his eyes darting around the room in total confusion. What the hell was happening? Leonard gasped for air, trying to steady his body. Was it that same dream again? Someone nearby shouted, "You're still alive? I thought you'd kicked the bucket for sure." He looked up at them, sensing something was very wrong. Seeing Leonard just stare blankly, the guy muttered, "Whatever, as long as you're still standing." He suddenly threw a fast punch at Leonard, yelling, "Let's finish what we started. You really gave us a scare, you dog." Leonard's entire body froze in total shock. Leonard stood up and effortlessly caught the guy's arm. His attacker froze, staring at him in complete disbelief. The other two watching were just as stunned. He actually blocked it? But Leonard was the most surprised of all. His eyes widened as his body moved on pure instinct. What was happening? He squeezed the guy's wrist until it started shaking. The bully pulled back and drew his sword, cursing. He took a stance and charged straight at Leonard. Don't get cocky, just because you got lucky once. He swung his blade with a vicious roar, but Leonard dodged it perfectly. It was undeniable now. The bully screamed in shock. He actually dodged it again? Leonard looked down at his own sword arm, realizing his body was moving entirely on its own instinct. Then, Leonard spun in a skillful circle. He delivered a final, decisive strike that sent his opponent's eyes rolling back. With his enemy down, Leonard took a deep breath and tried to make sense of the situation. It felt as if something was guiding his every movement. Nearby, the gray-haired boy gasped, "No way." The brown-haired boy added, "That wasn't luck. He's toyed with us like we're just prey." The other one tried to stay calm. "You've got to be kidding. How could the kid who couldn't even fight back suddenly do this?" The other nodded in agreement. He looked like a completely different person. Then, his face turned pale. "I don't get what's happening." The brown-haired boy got into a fighting stance. "Don't be a coward. Isn't he just the same piece of trash we almost beat to death a minute ago? And trust me, you and I are definitely going to want to see what happens next." He leaps to crush him, but Leonard just smiles. He finally remembers everything. You and I are about to watch a weak kid reclaim his throne as the ultimate sword god. Next, Leonard builds momentum and leaps into the air, bringing his blade down to finish it all once and for all. With the thugs handled, Leonard calmly sheathes his blade. For a while now, he has been having these strange dreams. Dreams about a man who stood under a blood-red sky, fighting with a flowing robe and white hair blowing in the wind. Those dreams haunted Leonard so much that he could not focus on training. He used to hate these visions for the longest time, but finally, everything has started to make sense. The life and death of that man are flashing clearly through Leonard's mind. Even though it is hard to believe, there is only one logical conclusion. He confidently realizes that he is the reincarnation of Jen, a legendary sword emperor from another world. Leonard looks at his hands in shock and mutters that he cannot believe the cycle of reincarnation is actually real. Staring up at the starry night sky, he wonders if his final, desperate wish from his past life finally came true. Suddenly, Leonard's eyebrows furrow as he looks down at his arm, sighing because it aches after only swinging his sword a few times. This pain is the result of using the wrong training methods for so long. Leonard looks serious as he talks to himself, but from this moment on, he clenches his fist with total determination. With these memories and top-tier techniques, he knows he will become stronger, without any limits holding him back at all. He does not know who granted him this wish, but it does not matter if it was just a coincidence. Jenin failed to reach his goal, but the current Leonas will definitely make sure that his dream becomes a reality. He will use everything he has to become the greatest sword emperor to ever live, surpassing his past life entirely. Meanwhile, deep inside the Cadenas family training hall, quiet voices are already discussing the latest events. Those three guys were all injured, meaning they will be completely useless during the upcoming field training mission that is coming up. The group is huddling in a corner now, clearly trying to figure out how to solve this problem. A black-haired guy speaks up, saying their combat power will drop a bit. but it should not be a major issue for them. It will not ruin the plan. But watch this. This is where we see just how much Leonard's power is scaring them. He turns his head and waits for the other person to finish what they were saying. The other person shares that the one who took down all three of them was just a single person. Number 381. What were the ranks of those three? They were numbers 3, 29, 2, 57, and 133. He argues back nervously, noting those ranks are higher than he expected. Did number 381 really take them all alone? If someone like that joins another faction, the balance of power will shift, but before he can finish, he freezes in his tracks. William points his sword at him with murderous intent, telling him to watch his mouth. Did he really think William would be shaken by trash? William orders them to bring number 381 to him so he can see for himself if the boy is actually a pawn worth using. The heavenly demon coldly declares a single sentence. I will consider this a parting gift before sending you to the afterlife. The reason you could not reach a higher stage of power is because you started training your internal energy far too late. Balance and the 5 elements are the most important things. If you had built that foundation as a child, your ending would have been completely different. You and I both know that look. This is the moment Leonard realizes the secret to becoming God tier. While focusing his energy, Leonard confirms the man's words in his heart. It is true, by the time he started training, his golden age was over. However, a new spark of hope ignites as he continues his reasoning. But if he starts building a solid foundation at this age, a brilliant blue energy immediately begins to swirl violently around his body like a powerful sphere of light. Leonard makes a final decision about what his next move is going to be. First, he needs to create a body that can absorb magic. He sits quietly in the center of an ancient magic circle, his whole body covered in a surging blue spiritual energy that seems to be washing away and rebuilding every single blood vessel in his entire form. After a while, the flow of energy starts to fade, and Leonard looks down at his hands. It worked. He clenches his fist, thinking that even for the best in the world, his internal energy feels lacking at this young age. Speaking of which, Leonard looks at the crest hanging on the wall and wonders what the deal is with this Cadenas bloodline. At the cafeteria, people are lining up for food. He eats happily, thinking that these dishes actually suit his taste buds quite well. Since he is in a growth phase, he needs proper nutrition and should not miss a single meal from now on. He is lost in thought until someone calls out to him, waking him up. Number 381. I heard about your fight yesterday. I did not know you had such a temper. You usually eat like a bird, so why are you so hungry today? You cleared the entire plate. He turns and asks, you're number 8, right? Trust me, it gets even crazier. You and I are about to witness the rise of an absolute underdog who just claimed rank number 7. Leonard wipes his mouth, realizing the system lets you steal high ranks just by winning a challenge. Why so cold? His friend asks with a smile, wondering why Leonard is acting so distant lately. I came here to give you some good news. Haven't you noticed how tense the atmosphere is getting? The top rankers are moving to expand their territory. You know them, rank 1, 2, and number 4. Leonard heads to the kitchen, knowing exactly who they are, the direct heirs of the Cadenas bloodline. Seeing the crowd behind them paying attention, his friend whispers for him to keep his voice down. Watch your mouth. Leonard stays serious, forcing his friend to finally get straight to the point. Man, are you actually crazy or just acting? You've suddenly become like a completely different person. Sweat pours down the man's face. As Leonard turns to leave, the self-proclaimed rank 7 speaks up. Listen closely, they're expanding for a reason. And if we don't join forces, none of us will survive. What do you want me to do? Leonard stops as the man steps closer with a serious look. Over half of the 100 students already surrendered to them, but branch families can still form gangs. My current plan is to team up with other high rankers, specifically number 3 and number 9. Leonard shakes his head. I refuse. I have no intention of joining any side or any faction. Your information was useful, though. Consider it a favor owed. The rank 7 is left totally stunned. Did this guy hit his head? This is definitely not the same rank 381 I once knew. The sun begins to set over the horizon. A golden badge with a deep red gem shines against a black flag, showing off true family prestige. Leonard walks calmly down the long hallway before stopping to ask who's been following him from behind. Do you have business with me? A provocative voice answers as a stranger approaches from the shadows. Of course I do. How's life treating you these days? Rank 381? I have plenty to say. But first he points his blade. The big boss wants a word with you. After you turned down that offer from number 7, the boss was actually pretty impressed with you. You and I both know what that means. Everything that happens here is being leaked to the top. This childish ranking game is surprisingly organized. Leonard keeps walking, completely unimpressed by the whole thing. I don't care, just get lost. The blonde guy loses his cool and lunges forward to attack. What did you say? You bottom-tier trash. I'll make you regret every single word you just said. Leonard stands perfectly still as the two attackers charge toward him with their weapons drawn. It seems like this situation isn't even enough to shake his absolute focus and iron will. He dodges the swing with ease. That kick was fast. His physical stats are actually reaching incredible levels. For his age, his body is extraordinary. Leonard clenches his fist as power surges through his body. Energy builds up within him in a single, concentrated moment. He launches a devastating punch straight at his opponent's face with unstoppable, blinding speed. Barehanded, the attacker is shocked, noticing a wooden sword flying past him in the sudden chaos. Leonard strikes him hard in the gut while he's distracted, doubling the man over in pure pain. The impact is so heavy, it sends the man's rank badge flying straight off his chest. Number 57 wasn't half bad. There's definitely a secret hidden within this Cadenas family bloodline. After dealing with the first guy, Leonard turns his cold gaze toward the second attacker. You've realized you don't have a chance, right? Do you really want to keep going with this? Shut up. I'm stronger than you. The man rushes in, blinded by nothing but pure, desperate rage. I see. Before he can even react, Leonard is already standing directly behind his back. Then I'll give you exactly what you wanted. A sharp, bone-chilling sound rings out through the hallway. Another rank badge gets blasted into the sky by the sheer force of that sudden, powerful blow. And that's where we leave it. A mysterious figure watched it all. Trust me, things are getting wild. All right, you and I are about to watch this guy toy with his opponents like a game. Fuguro smirks in excitement. Has he been hiding this insane power all along? It is hard to believe. For an informant, his background seemed so clear. But then, he suddenly freezes in place. Did they just lock eyes? At this distance, how could he possibly realize he is being watched? Whatever, looks like we are in for a massive upset this time. Let us just hope it is not the same old boring story as before. I have high expectations for you. Number 381, or should I say, number 98? Leonard Cadenas is in the hallway as people rush past, shouting for everyone to hurry. Apparently, number 98 is heading to the grounds. He crashes right into Verita and quickly apologizes. The number 1 student ordered him to catch number 98 immediately. She stops, asking coldly if number 1 really sent him. Rumors of a new rebel are spreading, and it looks like they are true. The training ground is buzzing with energy. Verita scans the crowd and takes it all in, looking for the source of the chaos. So, one of number 1's lackeys just lost? I thought those guys were supposed to be elite fighters. Now pay attention, because here is where the action starts. Verita watches as Leonard takes on William's entire group alone. Shut your mouth and just join our team already, you brat. He steadies himself, frowning in annoyance. I already said no. That number 1 guy might be strong, but is he completely insane? How many times do I have to repeat myself? With that, Leonard swings and levels the man before him. As his guard drops, Leonard quickly reaches out and snatches the badge right off his chest. Finished, Leonard coldly tells him he is taking those points. The guy can only grit his teeth and curse him out. Verita walks over with a smile, congratulating him. You have officially climbed all the way up to rank 25. Leonard is surprised, asking how she knows him. Verita turns cold again, her sharp gaze cutting right through him. No, but I can see right through you. From that strange body to your internal energy flow, and even that number 25 badge in your hand. Leonard steps closer and whispers, so you have clairvoyance? That is a pretty interesting ability. To see internal energy, she must have at least reached the level of the mind's eye. At her age, the mind's eye lets you see an opponent's true intentions, making it a deadly weapon when facing someone even stronger. The second rank student is definitely formidable. Then she asks why he hates the idea of joining a team so much. I really do not think you can pass tomorrow's training session all by yourself. As they talk, William interrupts them. Hey, enough already. Are you actually stupid? He was about to spill everything. William shows no mercy, stepping directly onto the arm of the fallen student. William grips his sword, his voice dripping with killing intent. I had to come here myself, because you useless trash failed again. Now, you and I both know who this is. Leonard finally realizes it too. So this is the famous number 1? His aura is definitely on a whole different level. He takes a few steps toward him, speaking coldly. I was curious to see what kind of person you really were. Leonard stops, radiating his own battle intent. Finally, we meet. Number 1. I can still go. Do you want to fight? William is furious at the disrespect. Who do you think you are talking to like that? Verita cannot help but burst into laughter, wiping a tear from her eye as she joins the conversation. You are hilarious. I have never seen anyone dare to speak to number 1 with that kind of attitude. Looks like everyone is here. Number 25 refuses to follow anyone. Training officially begins tomorrow morning. Me too. I only came to see your face. Before leaving, William drops one last cold warning. Do not regret provoking me. Number 25. Leonard answers instantly, without a single second of hesitation. Be my guest. He narrows his long eyes, deep in thought about the information he just learned. Only those of the direct bloodline are supposed to know this. A training session where we recruit allies? Tomorrow will be a test of coordination. Deep in the forest, Bruno asks the man across from him if all the students have gathered yet. The assistant reports respectfully that everyone is present and accounted for at the meeting point. However, one strange student appeared during team formation. Bruno calmly asks for more details on the situation. The man explains that the boy is training alone, refusing to join any group. Bruno is genuinely shocked. Alone? Did you explain the training content properly? The assistant confirms it is a survival mission in the Cadenas Great Forest. They must survive on their own. Trust me, you and I are about to see just how wild this gets. All right, you and I are about to witness just how chaotic this academy is getting. The instructors announced no team limits, and everyone is flocking to the 4 strongest leaders. Team A, led by number 1, is the massive heavyweight here. Then there is Team B, coming in as the second largest force. Team C is for commoners. Team D focuses on pure tactics. And Team E, that is just a pile of rejects led by number 483. The assistant instructor pauses for a moment. He checks the file for number 25, Leonard Cadenas, and blurted it out. This guy is his own squad. He is Team F. Leonard scans the massive training grounds, realizing he needs to secure a strategic base early to use this terrain to his advantage. Number 25. Bruno suddenly appears behind him, asking if that light pack is really all he is bringing for this mission. Just some water and a few biscuits? It might be fine for now. But Bruno is skeptical he will actually stay standing for long. Leonard just gives him a cold, casual look. He says it is not a problem at all. Survival is the official goal, right? But he knows the truth. This is just a brutal, all-out war for high-value cards. Footsteps echo in the silence as someone approaches. Don walks up, cutting their conversation short with a smug look on his face. He asks Bruno for a private moment with number 25, claiming the forest is far too dangerous for a kid to enter alone. Now, watch this. Don offers a spot in Team D, but Leonard just looks at him with pure disgust. Get lost. Leonard tells him to mind his own business, while eyeing the beast Don just finished off. Definitely a cunning snake. He sees right through the act. This guy acts caring, but he just wants a disposable pawn to throw away when things get dangerous. Don tries to keep his cool, claiming he cannot understand what is going through Leonard's head right now. Every other team has dozens of members, and Team A has over 100. This is an offer you do not just refuse. Leonard does not budge. He tells him he has zero obligation to explain himself to someone he does not even know. He is just not interested in playing house with a bunch of kids on some group picnic. Don finally snaps. He says he finally gets why number 1 hates Leonard's guts so much. That arrogant attitude is going to be your downfall. Since you will not listen to reason, I guess I will just have to use force to convince you. He figures taking Leonard out now is a great way to gain an advantage in the training. Sorry, but it is just business. He is smiling, but the intent behind those eyes is nothing but cold and deadly. Join my team, Don repeats. He swings his blade with everything he has, aiming right for Leonard's position. You feel that too, right? Don is losing his mind because Leonard actually dodged that strike. Now, Leonard is ready to counter. In a blur, Leonard leaps into the air. He calls the footwork strange as he prepares to end this fight in an instant. One clean strike to the back of the neck. Don drops like a stone while Leonard stays perfectly calm, looking down at him. Even mid-swing, Leonard realized something strange. There was zero killing intent or hostility coming from the guy. Is he already at the level of a master assassin? Boom. Don hits the dirt, and the forest goes silent again. Suddenly, a hand drops onto his shoulder. Bruno mumbles a compliment, praising his impressive reflexes. But since the official match has not started, this victory does not count toward his ranking. Whatever. Bruno tells the smallest team he can head out first. Leonard just nods and says, "Yes, sir." He watches the instructor walk away. He could not sense the man's presence at all, which is absolutely terrifying. This guy is the real deal. Even in Leonard's past life, an opponent like this would have been a nightmare to face. The top sword families on this continent are no joke. Even at this age, these kids are showing insane talent. With so many geniuses appearing at once, there has to be a major secret behind the Cadenas bloodline. Leonard takes off, moving with incredible speed. He tells himself to focus on the mission for now. Step 1. Find the perfect hideout. But then, a voice calls out through the thick dust and smoke. Are you number 25? Meanwhile, back at base, Bruno starts checking the status monitors. He demands a report immediately. The assistant bows, noting that the groups are clashing way earlier than expected. Team A went straight for the throat. They hunted down Team C immediately instead of looking for a base. Team C never saw it coming. They were completely wiped out in minutes. You and I can hear the intensity in the report footsteps pounding as everyone was eliminated except for number 3, who barely escaped. Bruno grins, clearly enjoying the chaos. He expected a tactical approach, but a lightning-fast ambush is way more fun. Bruno just stands there, rubbing his chin in deep thought. Trust me, this guy definitely isn't just relying on his superior numbers to win. Team A is so massive they'll starve if this war drags out, so he's using that manpower for a preemptive strike before anyone can even set up. Instead of looking for cover, he chose a surprise attack. This proves he's got both insane power and the tactical brain to match. The instructor shifts his focus. All right, give me the report on the situation with Team B and Team D. The assistant checks the system and starts explaining. After seeing Team C get crushed, Team B and Team D decided to form an alliance. Their goal is simple: take down the number 1 strongest player. The instructor looks pretty satisfied with this result. Bruno smirks. That's a wise move. These students are reacting much faster than the ones in the previous class. They've got potential. Now, what about the remaining groups under your watch, Instructor Colin? Report. Finally, the woman who's been silent this whole time speaks up. Colin nods and explains that Team E hasn't made much progress since picking a leader. But wait for number 25, trust me, I don't know where to begin with him. Memories flash back to her watching from the distance when Leonard suddenly called out Instructor Colin's name. Colin was stunned. Did he really see her? Her stealth techniques are supposed to be top tier even among the guides. He didn't waste time and glanced right at her. I have a question. Hearing that, Colin knew for sure. This kid had sensed her presence a long time ago. Finally, she leaps down from the tree. Fine, what do you want to ask? Number 25. Leonard points toward the cave. As you can see, this place is occupied, but I want to stay here for the night. Is this a Cadenas family pet? I'd hate for things to get messy if I accidentally hurt or kill it. Colin looks at the wolf, a Diogo. It's a beast tamed by the Cadenas family, so it's relatively safe. Still, a normal student shouldn't be able to beat it. She'll step in if things get ugly, just to see if he's bluffing. She keeps her thoughts hidden and answers. Don't worry, this is all part of the test. If you can beat it, use the cave for sleeping or storage, whatever you want. As soon as the wolf spots them, it starts growling with pure rage. It lets out a roar and lunges at Leonard. Sensing the danger, he grips his sword and gets into stance. You've got great skills for a pet. All right, I'll go a bit easy on you. Leonard strikes hard with his blade, confident as ever. After all, I won't find a better place to sleep than right here. Sorry about this. The beast grinds its teeth in pain, skidding across the ground to barely keep its footing. Its eyes glow with absolute fury. Now watch this. You and I can see its primal energy exploding in a wave of blue light. Leonard just stays calm. Killing intent? Has it lost control? If I go too easy and get hurt, the instructor will be in trouble too. He tightens his grip and charges toward the beast. This is going to hurt a little. He snaps his blade upward into its chin before spinning into a perfect mid-air flip. I'm not going to be your dinner today. With those words, Leonard ends it all with a massive knee strike. Colin stands there, completely speechless. He took it down in a blink. No rescue needed. Is this really the level of a student? The dust settles, and the air goes quiet. Instead of acting wild, the wolf is now acting like a loyal, obedient pet. Wait. Leonard points and orders it to sit. It immediately flops down, looking totally innocent. Give me your paw. Without any resistance, the beast holds its claws out toward him. Good boy. He pets the creature and turns back to Colin with a surprising request. Since it's so attached to me, can I bring it along for the training? Colin is stunned by his decisive power. Taming a beast like that? She replies carefully. That's going to be hard to permit. However, taming it proves your skill. I'll allow it under one condition: it's forbidden from joining any battles. Using it for travel or scouting? That's fine. Leonard adjusts his collar. That was my plan from the start. Colin leaves him with a warning to keep it under control. He smirks as she leaves. That technique was actually pretty useful. Now then, let's start the real training. You and I are going to see what happens when he hunts for food. Stick with me, you and I are about to see Leonis make a very risky decision. Take anything interesting you find, it doesn't have to be food. Then, he and Dioff split up. A dark voice echoes nearby, sending a chill down number 438's spine. You're a monster, he whispers. William casually pockets his hands while observing the scene. Does trash like this really carry the Cadenas bloodline? You're hopeless, but my card slot is full. Lucky you. Next time, I'll take you out immediately. Number 438 is shaking with pure, unadulterated rage at being looked down upon. He curses under his breath. Even together, they couldn't win. We're just sitting ducks for everyone else. I never wanted to lead this squad. Now, what am I supposed to do to survive? Suddenly, his gaze locks onto something. The team asks nervously, Captain, what's our move now? One guy mutters, we survived that one, but another group attack? We're total history. Is this really how it ends for us? He forces himself to snap out of it. Everyone, pull it together. Let's find food. If we hide and wait, we might still have a shot. Just then, his teammate's face turns ghostly white. What is it? Number 438 looks up, confused. Standing right in front of them out of nowhere is a massive, towering bear. He panics, realizing they're about to be food. Dying like this just doesn't feel right at all. Now, watch this. Right when all hope is gone, Leonard charges in with a presence that's absolutely terrifying. The monster senses the danger and whips its head around with a murderous, angry glare. Before it can even lunge, Leonard lands a lethal finishing blow. The sheer pressure has the others reeling. Who are you? 438 gasps. There stands Leonard, casually perched on the fallen beast. He realizes it's number 25. But seeing Leonard so calm, it feels completely cold-blooded. What else are you going to take from us? Our pride and our cards? He looks at the dead bear and sighs. There goes their food for the next few days. You're not even human, he mutters. But then, Leonard actually walks over to check on them. Are you guys doing okay? Number 438 just stares, completely blindsided by the kindness. Leonard asks again, slower this time? I'm fine. The captain stammers. Leonard just turns to leave. That's good then. But number 438 isn't done yet. Hey, wait a second. Aren't you going to steal our cards? Leonard glances back. I only stepped in because it looked dangerous. The whole squad is stunned. Winning isn't my goal, Leonard explains. I'm just here to train myself. I find my own food and cards don't interest me. He's being completely honest about his path. Let's pause for a second. You and I know ranking 25 isn't easy. Yet he only wants real challenges. I owe you one. 438 says seriously. Leonard looks actually surprised by the gratitude. You're the reason we weren't eliminated early. Leonard starts to explain, but then something catches their eye. Look at that. A massive wolf with piercing eyes emerges from the shadows, holding a girl tightly in its jaws. A wolf? Everyone screams in terror, but Leonard remains dead calm and simply shouts, sit. To everyone's absolute shock, the terrifying beast immediately obeys and sits like a trained puppy. It gently releases the girl. The squad recognizes her instantly. It's the legendary number 3. No way. 438 whispers. How could someone as strong as her be beaten this badly? She'll survive because of her card. But he's still terrified of Leonard and his massive companion. Leonard ignores them, focusing on her wounds. What kind of monster could break a warrior like her? Was it number 1 or number 2? The wolf picks her up again as Leonard turns back. Number 438. You really don't want to get eliminated, do you? He nods. Does that make me pathetic? Leonard just points toward the giant bear carcass on the ground. Take this bear. Consider it a gift instead of taking your badges. That's enough food for everyone. Transaction complete. And hey, stop letting those rank numbers mess with your head so much. You and I just watched the birth of a true hero. Maybe number 25 is actually a good person. All right, you and I are diving into a world where mercy is rare. Number 3 wakes up in a daze, totally confused. Where is she? Looking at her bandaged arms, she wonders if someone actually took the time to heal her wounds. Who is there? Suddenly, Leonard's voice cuts through the air. You finally awake? She springs into action without a single doubt. She lunges at Leonard with everything she has, but he blocks her effortlessly. He only seems concerned about her injuries. Your legs seem fine now, so stop wasting energy and just rest. Number 3 is still shouting back with intensity. Give me back my badge. Leonard just looks at her. She follows his gaze and realizes the emblem is still there. The air gets thick with awkward tension. Number 3 stammers out a quiet, very hesitant thank you to her savior. She is grateful for her life, but refuses to hand over the badge. Leonard ignores her and nears the fire. I never planned on taking it, he says. He holds out a piece of juicy, perfectly cooked meat. Sit and eat. Seriously? He tells her not to be shy. There is plenty more. He refuses to let a child go hungry. He is determined to help her. As she starts eating, he asks if she was part of the infamous Team C. What happened out there? Leonard wonders if she ran into some high-level monsters while in the woods. It was not monsters. She explains that right after they built their base, Team A ambushed and wiped them all out. The memory is painful. They had no time to react. As their leader, she feels ashamed for being so helpless. Now pay attention, because this is where Leonard reveals the truth. You had zero chance to win this one. He breaks down the battle. Fighting against superior numbers is a whole different game for any young warrior. You guys lack experience, he notes. He knows the enemy used a classic surprise attack against rookies with no strategy. It is a tough situation. Leonard looks at her arm and asks a very serious question about her injury. Was your arm destroyed by number 1? She confirms it, noting number 1 is way stronger than number 2. Her team simply did not have the power to stop them, but she is not giving up just yet. I did not even get to fight properly. Leonard smiles. Even knowing the gap, her fighting spirit has not faded. Leonard realizes right then that she might actually become a true, legendary warrior one day in the future. He analyzes the situation while eating. Things are looking bad. Team B and Team D will fall very soon. Did they form an alliance? Leonard starts to explain the brutal and calculated psychology of the battlefield. The morale of a winning side is terrifying. That momentum is even more dangerous than having more soldiers. Even with 2 alliances, they cannot catch up to the total wins of a single powerhouse enemy team. In his mind, a tactical ambush is the only play left, but the enemy is already expecting that move. I know what you are thinking. Can one person really stop them? Let's find out. This is getting wild. Go for the weak point of Team A, he instructs. Target number 1 with every bit of power you have. He explains that Team A revolves entirely around him. Since he is the pillar, their unity is incredibly fast, but Leonard is certain of his plan. If you snap that central pillar, the entire team will break. The entire group will descend into chaos. If they follow his plan, the enemy will fall apart almost instantly. He guesses she wants revenge, and she does not hide it. I definitely do. Leonard gives a confident command. Then trust me. She pauses for a second, then looks him in the eye. Should I call you captain now? Meanwhile, William's army is on the move. He leads the way. Noting that someone is running very late, number 5 tells him to keep his cool. Time is on our side. We just need to hold position. Victory is already ours, William replies. But then, he says something that leaves number 5 completely baffled and confused. This will be over soon. Something ahead has caught his attention, and he is not looking away for a second. William signals, and number 5 screams for everyone to halt. Prepare for battle. Every soldier gets ready to fight. Everyone ready up. William shouts that hiding was smart, but now that hope is gone, there is nowhere left. Why not just surrender? Stop hiding in the shadows and show yourselves right now, he demands with a shout. Slowly, a new group emerges, leaving William completely stunned. How did you even manage to find us here? Verita and DN look down from above. This proud lion has a much better nose than I thought. That comment puts William on high alert. Verita and DN approach with nothing but cold, sharp mockery. Or is it just the nose of a dog? Trust me, you and I just hit the best part. All right. You and I are about to see what happens when an arrogant elite finally meets his match. William looks down on everyone, calling their skills petty tricks. His confidence is off the charts as he sneers at his opponent. I cannot believe a person like you dares to face me, William says, full of pure disdain. You are a total disgrace to the Cadenas family name. Verita snaps as she prepares to strike. Why do you always feel the need to show off like this? You do not look like a warrior to me. You look more like a peacock flaunting its tail. William fires back, calling his arrogance true dignity, before insulting her. Suddenly, Verita and her ally charge forward, closing the distance between them in the blink of an eye. William does not back down for a second, welcoming the challenge head-on. The battlefield explodes as the clash between these powerful commanders finally begins. Verita's soldiers follow her lead, screaming for the total destruction of Team A as they launch a full-scale assault. William's squad is just that ready, locking their shields tight. Stay focused on defense. Do not let a single one of them break our line. The two sides collide in a brutal frenzy. William unleashes a blow so powerful it leaves Verita completely stunned and gasping. She wonders what kind of monster she is actually facing. Quickly, She forced herself to stay calm and analyze his fighting style. He is not just fast, every single strike feels heavy as lead. Even though I blocked it, my wrists are going numb, and I can barely track his movements anymore. Verita grinds her teeth in frustration, shouting just what kind of thing is he? Now, pay attention here because Verita manages to create the perfect opening for her ally. But even a surprise attack is nothing to this monster. William shuts it down with terrifying ease. William is clearly losing his patience with their little teamwork. He reaches out, grabs the enemy's blade with his bare hands, and starts crushing the metal. Did you two really come here just to play these pathetic games? His overwhelming strength leaves them both paralyzed with fear. He drives a brutal knee straight into his opponent's gut. Verita sees her chance and prepares to strike. There is the opening. She makes her move, aiming for his back where his guard is down. She can see every muscle tensing as he moves. A sudden realization hits her like a truck. Wait, an opening this massive feels wrong. Her hesitation causes her own attack to lose its speed and lethal edge. Was he setting a trap for her from the very start? Verita stops her blade instantly. William calmly lowers his weapon, his relaxed posture making her even more nervous. He actually offers her a rare bit of praise. You are at least better than that number 4 guy, but you realize the truth far too late. While William acts casual, Verita is desperately fighting just to stay standing. Your special eyes can see my movements, but they are far from being perfect, aren't they? He looks down at her with pure contempt, mocking her speed. To me, you are moving in slow motion compared to that number 25 kid. He puts more weight into his swing, snapping her sword like a toothpick. Let's pause for a second. Verita is completely broken by his power. After all that trash talk, is this all you have? William stands tall, telling her to just accept her defeat. You have no chance against me. Number 2. He is absolutely convinced that he is the only winner of this training session. Suddenly, Leonis appears out of nowhere, leaving both of them speechless. You are calling this a win way too early, Leonard says as he walks toward them calmly. Number 25. William demands to know what he is doing there. Leonard just tosses aside the body of the person he just defeated and shrugs like it is no big deal. I am only here to pay you back for what you did to my squad, Leon says coldly. William laughs in his face, asking what team he is talking about. A loser like you should not have any teammates left at all, he sneers. Leon explains that was true in the beginning. Suddenly, the bushes rustle and Leon's entire alliance leaps out to join the fight. Take a good look around, Leonard tells him. William's elite squad is being taken down instantly. These are the weaklings you always treated like trash. This is an uprising of the people you called completely worthless, and they are not holding back. Number 4. 38 holds up a badge, grinning from ear to ear. We have to jump back to when they first found that bear. With all this food, we are finally safe. Everyone, we can actually make it through this together because of these supplies. They start cheering for number 25 with everything they have. But number 3 suddenly interrupts their celebration. Number 4, 38, looks up in total shock. Number 25, number 3, why are you two showing up so suddenly? He clutches the food tightly to his chest, sounding worried. You are not planning on taking all of this back, are you? Leonard makes a surprising offer. Why don't you guys form an alliance with us? The other boy is hesitant, asking what he means. Our team is too weak, and even with a group, we would just get in your way. But Leonard reminds them of his philosophy. Hey, did you already forget what I told you? Leonard stands tall, telling them not to let some stupid numbers define who they are. You are all warriors who survived the Cadenas training. The boy asks, what does that have to do with anything? Leonard tries to give them the confidence they need by explaining the truth about their growth. You and I know that everyone trains the same way, so your growth is equal. Ranks are just labels, Leon says. But number 438 remains cautious. What on earth are you saying? Stick with me, because you and I are about to watch these ranks get shredded. Trust me, we are about to see how one man's potential changes everything. He explains that those with special traits are just a minority. Other than that, the true power you all possess is basically equal. Leonard points to himself and number 3 as the perfect evidence for his argument. Number 3 is from a branch family, yet she climbed this high through her own effort. Leonard tries to boost number 438's confidence. I am the same. I dragged myself from rank 381 all the way up to rank 25. Do not the numbers prove it? Leonard keeps pushing them with confidence. There are only a few people ranked higher than you, and you definitely have the power to surpass everyone else. Hearing this, the group around number 438 just grows more frustrated. Do not joke around. We are ranked this low because we cannot win, even against equals, he shouts, cutting them off. It is not just about raw strength. Leonard tries to wake them up. What you lack is courage and self-belief. Have you ever truly pushed your own limits before? Have you ever believed in yourself even once? If you have not done that yet, then I will put all my faith in you. His words finally start having an impact on their minds. You really can win this. Now, pay attention here. Class F is officially making Class E an offer to join forces. Leonard reaches out his hand. Why don't we just take down the number 1 together? Number 3 shouts the order from above. Charge. We can win because number 25 believes in us. Go grab that victory. With their confidence restored, the students all rush forward into the fight. William looks down with total contempt. Number 3. Teaming up with trash? Have you no shame? She fires back instantly. Did you just say trash? Listen carefully, because I have already fought against him once. He caught my kick with one hand like it was nothing. Leonard just ignores her bragging. His technique is far more refined than yours. William's blood starts boiling at their new confidence. I do not follow the weak. I simply follow the one who is stronger. Besides, just because you are powerful does not mean your team is, right? Leonard points. Look, my team is currently tearing your underlings apart, while you just stand there. Elsewhere, number 438 and the others celebrate. We won. Suddenly, a strange laugh rings out. Verita decides to join in. Fine, I get it. I surrender. Let me join Team F with Den. Another student does the same, refusing to lose. I would rather join him than lose to someone I despise. William watches this betrayal in total disgust. Number 4. Even you are turning on me? Do none of you have any pride left as members of the Cadenas bloodline? Leonard keeps taunting him. What are you talking about? Everyone here is a Cadenas. Don't be stubborn. Just admit your defeat. William will not budge. Do not mess with me. He levels his blade directly at number 25. He throws down a massive wager, putting the fate of both Team A and Team F on the line. You and I know where this is going. William is stepping up for an epic duel. Leonard does not hesitate to respond. That was my plan from the very beginning anyway. He draws his weapon with total confidence. But those words? You are the one who should be hearing them, not saying them. Come at me. I will open your eyes. Outside, Bruno is watching the duel between these two very closely. The duel between number 25 and number 1 finally begins. Colin calls this the real final match. While Bruno waits for the final result, everyone is waiting. Will number 1 win as expected? Or will the rookie flip the script? We might be about to witness the birth of a genius leader as these two warriors finally clash in their duel. Watch closely now. They trade blows, attacking and defending as the pace of the battle turns lightning fast. Leonard stays calm, analyzing every bit of William's skill while he blocks. His swordsmanship is solid, and his power is terrifying. Number 2 did well to survive that onslaught by just focusing on defense. Even if his arms are ruined, he tracks every movement. Even so, Leonard easily predicts exactly where the next strike is landing. He is still just a student. Strong, sure, but his patterns are way too easy to read. Suddenly, William's move surprises him. Now he sees how number 2 was defeated a strike from a blind spot. Bruno gasps in shock. Could it be that number 25 has already solved number 1's technique? Seeing it that fast? You and I are watching a genius in action. All right, you and I are watching something impossible. As Dam Chio reels from Leonard's talent, a talentless kid doing what the second rank could not. Leonard just keeps analyzing. He realized it during that first clash. This guy isn't just swinging his sword with raw physical power. He suspects number 1 has an invisible, formless power. Both of them are coating their blades in energy for a relentless assault. Leonard watches every tiny detail, noticing a strike coming from an angle where nobody should be able to generate force. He studies that massive physique and makes a quick assessment. Even a veteran fighter would drop their guard, thinking an attack from that specific position was totally impossible. Leonard figures it out. The guy uses telekinesis to pump power into his arm, creating a strike with insane destructive force. William swings hard, glowing with blue light, but Leonard blocks it cold. It is a power that defies every law of physics. Leonard gives credit where it's due, thinking, this kid is actually pretty good. He noticed too. You bastard. Did you see through my ability? Their swords clash again, but William is absolutely certain he has the edge. That's not all. You're hiding something else, aren't you? William screams, demanding to know why he waited until now to show it. He just responds calmly, telling him to let his sword provide the answer. He sees the Duke family style and smiles, impressed. But William's next move is about to catch him completely off guard. Leonard sees right through the move, but he has to admit, the guy's got skill. He is using telekinesis for long-range sword chi too? Yeah, That rank 1 title definitely isn't just for show. William drags his blade across the ground with pure arrogance, asking if he understands the weight of this attack. Don't blame me. Number 25. Leonard fires back, telling him his overconfidence will be his downfall. Now watch closely, as he stays perfectly calm, waiting to see what this guy can actually do. A pale blue aura erupts around him with intense heat. Fine then, he says. I will grant your wish. Leonard plans his counter. His current body is too weak for his old power, and he can't risk drawing attention by using external forces. Leonard grips his sword tight, preparing for the final strike. The only option left is a perfect slash. Suddenly, William's sheer power pushes Leonard back. He dodges every blow effortlessly. Every swing is heavy, but Leonard just slips away, making the guy scream in frustration. You're fast on your feet. William switches it up, yelling for him to try this. That last move snaps a massive tree in half. It's incredibly powerful, but Leonard's speed gets him out safely. Verriera has been watching the whole time and finally gets it, while Henry is still struggling to keep up. What does she mean? She explains that number 1 is using an ability to hide his moves from everyone's eyes. Hez annoyed, calling it a dirty trick. But Verriera notices that number 25 is still dodging every single hit. Honestly, number 25 is the really dangerous one for hiding his true strength like this. Number 3 tries to defend him, asking how Hez being cunning when he can't even get close. He thinks it over, realizing the truth is the exact opposite. Bruno's subordinate notices Leonard is actually closing the gap. You and I can see he's just acting. He looks desperate, but it's all a cold, calculated trap. He is playing a role, forcing number 1 into a corner without the guy even realizing it. He looks just like a predator, leisurely cornering its prey. William is losing his momentum, and Leonard is getting dangerously close. He realizes Leonard is right on top of him, and panics, asking when he got so close. Leonard just calmly tells him he's lost, then unleashes a massive strike that blows everything away, William included. Hez in total shock, unable to believe he actually lost. Not me, he thinks, feeling completely humiliated. How could I lose to a low-class nobody like you? Leonard's attack was so loud it shook the entire forest. William just stares, asking if he really lost. He sits there as Leonard's blade flashes toward his throat. No, this isn't just a loss. As the sword tip stops inches from his face, he realizes it's death. Leonard stays calm, showing no more aggression. William just sits there, breathing hard before he starts laughing. Everyone is stunned as the rank 1 surrenders. I give up, he says. The crowd goes wild for number 25. You won. Even Bruno is shocked, admitting this was a sight he never expected to see. William's next words are confusing. He says thanks, calling him the new number 1, and admits he feels relieved. Leonard looks at his defeated face and asks, what do you and I make of that? Truly strange. You and I are jumping right into the moment. William reflects on his past, the pressure from his father, and his obsession with being the absolute strongest. Leonard stands there stunned by the sudden turn of events, while William looks like a massive weight has finally been lifted off his shoulders. He reaches out his hand and keeps it simple. It is nothing. William even admits it was one hell of a fight, making Leonard sigh in relief. Leonard grabs his hand and pulls him up. Great job, and congrats. Meanwhile, over on the sidelines, Bruno's henchmen are losing their minds in total shock. Is this a joke? How did the number 1 lose? They can't believe their eyes. Most of them had bets on the line. It is over for me, I'm broke. They really put all their faith in the top ranker. Bruno, on the other hand, is thrilled. The result was a total surprise, but a massive win for him. He officially declares the training over. Verita and Dawn aren't rushing over to celebrate. They just stand there, watching from the side. They're truly impressed by number 25. I'm really impressed with Squad E. Yeah, I have to agree with that. Nobody expected him to lead a group of outcasts to take down Squad A. Now, everyone is screaming Leonard's name, while Bruno keeps watching him. Number 25 was the only one who saw the real goal of this exercise. It is an unexpected outcome, but the old man is satisfied. He gives Colin the order wait for things to settle down, then pack everything up. It is time to head back. She nods, ready to move. Now, pay attention, because things are about to get serious. Contact the main family, tell them it is finally time for the coming-of-age ceremony. Leonard gently pets Diog and whispers the news. I have to leave tomorrow, buddy, but I can't take you with me this time. As soon as he hears that, the wolf's face drops. He looks absolutely heartbroken, like he can't stand the thought of being separated. Seeing that sad face, Leonard looks at him with pure affection. Does it hurt that much? I'm going to miss you just as much, pal. Leonard strokes his nose one last time and sighs. I'm sorry I have to leave you behind for now, But listen, I'm making a promise. His eyes fill with determination. I'm going to get way stronger, and then I'm definitely coming back to get you. Just wait for me. Diog perks up instantly, and Leonard smiles. We'll play all day when that time comes. He turns to leave, but steals one last lingering look. Train hard so you can keep up with me. Looking at the wolf's majestic silhouette, one last thought crosses his mind. Next time we meet, I'm going to give you a real name. Soon enough, Leonard is back on the carriage with William and the others. He freezes in shock. What are you guys all doing in my carriage? It is not like there's a rule saying we have to board in order. Number 3, just shrugs. I'm just following the boss. Verita laughs. I'm here because today's main character is on your team. Don gives a bit of a forced laugh. I just wanted to chat with the guy who literally climbed up from the bottom. And you and I both know why William is here. He's here to see the guy who jumped from rank 381 to first in a month. Number 3's jaw hits the floor. You want to talk to rank 1? Verita just teases him, asking if he's actually interested in learning. Leonard is just lost. Is this some kind of joke? What do you people think I am, anyway? Suddenly, William turns to him with a serious look. Aside from the jokes, I actually have some important news for you. Number 3 says William has changed too much. Did the captain hit his head too hard? William just snaps back, telling him to shut up. He turns back to Leonard and whispers, listen close. Starting tomorrow, your supplies will depend on your performance as true descendants of the Cadenas house. We're going back to training very soon, but first, the Bloodline awakening ceremony is happening. The Cadenas blood carries physical traits that normal humans just don't have. The ceremony is a special ritual meant to trigger those powers. From here on out, everything we do will be focused on that alone. Don lets out a long yawn. So that's why they only taught us the basics at the training grounds until now. It all makes sense. William doesn't miss a beat. So, what happens once those parts are actually awakened? He hesitates for a second before continuing his explanation. Word is, you'll be able to control mana much more freely. Just like number 4 said, that's why spirits and mana stones were banned earlier. Spirits and stones, huh? Once the awakening is done, the prep work is over, and the students join the elite Blue Dragon Knights. Everyone in the carriage is stunned by this news. The Blue Dragon Knights? That is the first I've ever heard of them. He chuckles and whispers that it's still a top secret for now. On paper, there are only 7 Knight Orders. But the Blue Dragon? They're all about training through actual, high-stakes combat. They gather the absolute best to raise the next generation. They design a custom path for each student to throw them into the real world early. Verita finishes, and William looks straight at Leonard. That's why we're sorted by rank and special abilities. It means everyone is going to awaken a completely different part of themselves. And trust me, you and I are just getting started. Mana attributes vary from person to person, and no 2 core counts are the same. Hearing this, number 3 suddenly remembers the rumors about dragon blood in the Cadenas family. Whether those rumors are true or not, even we aren't completely sure. William keeps a straight face and continues his detailed explanation. Basically, the fewer cores you have, the better. A single core is considered the absolute peak because it makes your cultivation incredibly efficient. All right, you and I are about to see a total game changer. William smirks with total confidence and claims he is a single core user. Seeing that smug look on his face, everyone immediately tells him to knock it off and stay humble for once. Vetra gives a dry laugh and tells him not to take it to heart, since single cores only appear once every 10 years. Leonard stays quiet, realizing this training is just like his past life. So, those 5 soul sources actually represent the 5 elements? That is a very interesting way to look at it. Leonard looks at her, confused. Don't tell me I actually have 5 cores? Verita pauses before explaining that a pent core has the worst training efficiency imaginable. Every extra core doubles the resources you need. Not to mention, you have to keep every single one of them perfectly balanced during your practice. Leonard nods as the realization hits him. That explains why his progress has been dropping off such a steep cliff lately. If a single core is 1, dual is 4, triple is 8, quad is 16, and 5 cores, that is 32 times the effort. Those numbers are terrifying. Her voice drops to a serious tone. Shouldn't you have learned this in theory class? How can the number 1 student be this clueless? Leonard just gives a calm, indifferent response. Suddenly, Verita starts laughing like she just heard the most ridiculous thing ever. Hey, when you're this good in a real fight, who actually needs to waste time on boring old textbooks? Now, watch closely here. Leonard realizes this is just like his past life. And if those old methods still work, he just found a massive opportunity. He suddenly speaks up and asks a question. If someone actually managed to train every core, wouldn't 5 cores be the strongest power of all? The guy gives a silly grin. In theory, yes, but finding enough resources is impossible. Without them, your training will eventually hit a hard limit. Leonard and Verita both give him an annoyed look. Having multiple cores seems like it only brings a massive list of disadvantages. It looks like sticking with a single or triple core is the safest bet. Can someone please just tell this guy to shut up? Verita finally admits she'd be happy with a triple core. A single core would just draw too much unwanted attention and cause nothing but trouble. You saw that coming, right? Someone finally shouts it out. Leonard has 5 cores. He slowly walks away as the shocking news rings in his ears. People start whispering that he has sword talent but zero luck with his bloodline. They wonder why the heavens would be so cruel to him. Leon sighs to himself. He's finally famous, but it's for the one thing that absolutely nobody would ever want to be known for. He stands alone in front of a room, lost in deep thought. A moment later, Leonard reaches up and lets a small smirk play on his lips. He didn't exactly want things to turn out this way. Suddenly, he senses something strange and dangerous approaching him from right behind his back. Using his sharp instincts, Leonard narrowly dodges the surprise attack. He turns his head as the attacker speaks up in a low, surprised voice. Impressive. The opponent retracts his power and can't help but praise the boy's quick reaction time and steady composure. To understand the sword at such a young age, the man is Fabian, and he admits the rumors about Leonard don't do him any justice. Number 381. Leonard introduces himself properly. After hearing about his past achievements, Fabian can't help but whistle in pure amazement. Reaching this level at your age is incredibly rare. Your form is perfect, and you haven't even started using aura yet. Leonard frowns and drops a heavy question. Isn't martial arts something that is built from the heart and forged through the body? Fabian is momentarily stunned. Leonard continues boldly, stating he thought the presence of aura had nothing to do with the purity of one's martial arts. As soon as the words leave his mouth, the older man can't help but burst out into a long, delighted laugh. Fabian looks at him with a serious expression. It seems the rumors didn't capture your true strength. I really like your attitude, kid. He salutes politely and introduces himself. I am Fabian, a swordsmaster and the captain of the legendary Azure Dragon Knights. I give you my word that you deserve a special rank. I personally guarantee that you will receive the absolute best treatment we have. Hearing this, a subordinate behind him speaks up in a panic. Captain, are you serious? But Leon was just confirmed as a pent core. Fabian shuts them down immediately. Core counts don't matter. Don't let petty things like that stop a man from reaching his grand destiny. When we find someone with this much talent, we have to be willing to invest everything we have into them. So don't worry about what other people are saying. Having no other choice, the subordinate reluctantly steps forward to help. You deserve the special rank, so take this. Is this a spatial bag? It has everything you need inside. So just use whatever you want. As a special rank student, I am giving you the right to choose. Go ahead and pick whatever path you want to take. Behind those doors are several different training areas, each designed for a specific type of specialized warrior. Usually, I assign these based on your skill level, but this time I'll let you decide. Leonard stares intently at the path ahead. Which room has the best resources? Trust me, you and I both know he is about to pick the hardest one. Great question. If you avoid pain, you're no martial artist. He explains. Go to Kalabok. You and I are about to see just how brutal training can get. It is the most remote island in the entire empire. Even elite knights give up because the environment is incredibly harsh and untamed. It is a wild jungle where some areas are as dangerous as a demon's territory. Feeling excited? Leonard touches the mark and politely thanks Captain Fabian for his concern. Captain Fabian. Looking at the mysterious power inside his head, the boy starts to form a silent plan. 5 Thunders training is only considered hard because people don't know the right way to practice. The 5 elements are a unified flow. If I raise them together, I can surpass my past life. Now here's the part where he steps into the unknown. Leonard grabs his bags and heads inside while Fabian wishes him good luck. As soon as he enters, he has to shield his face. He's officially arrived at Kalabogos. Suddenly, a voice rings out behind him, welcoming him to the island. He turns and sees Bradley walking toward him. He didn't hear a single footstep. This guy is dangerous. Bradley looks him over curiously. Are you the trainee that everyone is gossiping about? Leonard steps back and bows politely. It is an honor to meet you. My name is Leonard. Bradley introduces himself just as formally. I manage this region, and I'm a High Knight of Squad 1 in the Blue Dragon Squad. Bradley signals for him to follow. Let's talk somewhere else. I bet you haven't greeted the others yet, right? Leonard nods and admits he hasn't. Everyone here is an apprentice knight. Bradley explains the basics while they walk. Even if ranks are the same, show respect to your seniors. Leonard silently follows behind him. From his tone, Leonard figures he doesn't need to be too stiff. Bradley stops and says there is no reason to be afraid. There are strict rules against seniors messing with first-year recruits like you. Leonard promises to remember that. His firm attitude seems to earn Bradley's respect. Good. You get 6 months of my protection, then 6 months of dedicated training. After that, you are completely on your own. Got it? Leonard nods with absolute certainty. Normally, your food and clothes have nothing to do with me. But since you are special, I will provide you with a place to sleep. He leads the boy to a very simple, rustic wooden cabin. Use this room for now. It has the basics. Leonard bows respectfully and thanks him. Bradley emphasizes that everything else is Leonard's responsibility. No more handouts. As long as you have spirit stones, you can buy whatever you need. Leonard nods with caution. I understand, Brother Bradley. The knight asks if there are any other questions left. He hesitates for a second before asking about the difference between protection and training. Bradley explains it's actually quite simple if you think about it. During protection, I support everything you do, but in training, I only ensure no one touches you. Leonard looks around the area cautiously. Are there laws against injury or murder here? Bradley makes it clear that killing is strictly forbidden. Leonard nods and finally steps inside his new home. I understand. One last thing. Can you tell me the value of these resources? Bradley decides to check the bag for him. You have 3,000 low-grade spirit stones and 100 pills for every single attribute, Bradley says while leading him in. Leonard is stunned. Even for a top student, this wealth is insane. Trust me, having this much power always puts a target on your back. Bradley notices his silence and watches him, a few suspicious thoughts crossing his mind. He's just a kid from a branch family, but even heirs of the main house don't get this much support. The captain clearly favors him. Leonard then wonders what spirit stones actually are. They are special ores packed with pure mana energy inside. You absorb them to expand your mana capacity. He looks at the boy's heavy luggage. With this, a single element can reach level 10, while 5 thunders might hit level 5. Leonard is shocked. Level 5? Is that how the ranking system works? Bradley just gives a small laugh. I'll explain it now. First, I'll teach you how to recognize the different cultivation realms. There are 5 major and 10 minor realms. Reach the top to be a true master. So, do you think he'll survive? Let's find out together. Stick with me, you and I are watching a weakling become a god. Use internal mana to expand the core. The second stage is about projecting your power outside the body. The outer force stage turns mana into aura. Next is the stage of sharpening your unique individual self. It is called the transcendent stage, which is hard to define since everyone is different. The fourth is the semigod stage, where will directly interferes with reality. Bradley explains that at level 5, you will shed your mortal shell and finally touch the realm of divinity. This ultimate phase he is talking about, it is known as the God realm. Bradley's face darkens. Aside from the ancestor, Cadenas, not a single soul has ever reached that legendary level. He turns away in anger. Some fools even claim it is just a fairy tale made up by the Cadenas family. That trash forgets they would be slaves if our ancestor had not killed that demon dragon back then. After a long silence, Bradley stands up and clears his throat with a few soft coughs. He says, that is enough talk. Time for the real work. He points his hand beside Leonard. Your first task is mana cultivation. Use these resources to strengthen your body and expand your mana core. Just absorb the energy from these stones. After explaining the process, Bradley immediately opens the door and leaves. Now, watch closely. Leonard is left completely stunned as Bradley suddenly turns and walks away without another word. Left alone, Leonard stares at the glowing spirit stones, trying to figure out the best way to study them. Just absorb it? He picks one up, noticing the mana density in the air is surprisingly high. He could train just by taking a walk. Is this really supposed to be a difficult challenge for others? He does not hesitate, crushing a stone in his fist. If it is this easy, he is incredibly lucky. A smug smile creeps across Leonard's face. He already mastered all of this in his previous life. Late that night, Leonard studies his body. He notices his veins are pulsing with a new raw power. Even with his past life experience as Dumin, this speed feels a bit too fast, right? You and I both saw this coming. He hits the 3rd level in just a few short hours. At this rate, level 5 will take 1 day. He slumps onto the floor, totally exhausted but thinking. Thanks to his past life memories, this entire training process feels like simple child's play for him. The 5-word system is identical to the 5 elements. This method of absorption is just a basic exercise, but finishing in a single day will definitely be suspicious. Maybe he should hide in the mountains to train for a while. Then, he thinks of Fabian. Wait, the captain already believes he is an unrivaled genius. A few wild ideas start popping into his head. If he shows off his past life techniques right now, he can play the role of the perfect genius perfectly. Anything else would just be a waste of his potential. Meanwhile, Yan and his group are patrolling the woods when they spot the wooden training shack. It is truly impressive. Has that kid really been locked in there for 1.5 months already? A dark-haired companion scoffs. He is likely staying inside until he reaches at least level 5, right? That is the minimum to survive in this hellhole. Yan sighs, feeling a bit of pity for the guy. Finding it boring, Ju suggests they go fishing. They do not have time to worry about a mere rookie. They walk off grumbling. If they catch nothing soon, they will have to trade spirit stones for food. That is terrifying. Our skills are barely at the level of those weak goblins anyway. Hey, that is harsh. We should at least be able to beat an orc. Both are the weakest here. Here is the part you and I should watch. The wooden door finally begins to creak open. He wipes the dust off his face, wondering if he should ask Bradley for a real steel sword. The next day, Bradley freezes at the request. You want a real sword? He draws his blade and stares Leonard down. What is your reason for wanting a real one? Bradley mocks him internally. Did a tiny bit of power go straight to this kid's head already? Suddenly, Leonard smashes a nearby boulder with his bare fist. The strike is so perfect, Bradley is shocked. He is stunned and blurs out a compliment. Leonard reached the 3rd tier in only 1.5 months. Bradley hesitates, then growls with heavy emphasis. You and I are watching a rookie grow at an insane speed. But his senior just shouts, "Don't get cocky, trainee." Leonard's eyes widen as he finds himself backed into a corner. Wait, what's going on? He wonders out loud. Pay attention here. Bradley bonks his head and tells him to stop being so terrified before his anger shifts into genuine concern. Just don't go doing anything stupid. Leonard rubs his head and takes the blade. Thank you for the help. Bradley suddenly remembers that if he loses the sword, he will have to pay for it using rare mana stones. What if it breaks? Bradley laughs while holding up a stone. Then you still have to pay back every single cent. Leonard gives a dry smile. That sounds fair enough. Bradley walks away, throwing one last word of encouragement over his shoulder. Keep working hard. Leonard carefully studies his map. I finally have a sword. He begins calculating his next move right away. Time for a little scouting. In the dead of night, Leonard makes the decision to head straight for the Forest of Ruins. We see ugly green feet stepping heavily across the dark forest floor, one slow and steady pace at a time. Suddenly, a pack of hideous rank goblins appears. A sharp scent of fresh blood fills the air, catching their immediate attention. Leonard approaches with his sharp blade in hand, his voice dropping to a low and steady tone as he nears. Even if I kill them all, the stench of blood is undeniable. He takes a breath and leaps forward with power. He coldly slashes through the hobgoblins. I am going to make your end quick and painless, so do not worry. One is sliced clean in half. Leonard touches a glowing stone and thinks about the mechanics of this strange new world. Monsters release their mana as spirit crystals the moment they take their final breath and fall to the cold ground. After wiping them out, he squints. Collecting 100 low-tier crystals in a single day is actually not a bad haul. He realizes he probably will not be able to find much more growth within these old and decaying forest ruins. The Forest of Ruins? That is just a name for the place where those rejected by the food chain end up. Leonard feels bored just weak E-rank trash here. Suddenly, he shifts his eyes toward the shadows lurking right behind his back. After sensing movement, Leonard realizes the scent is totally different from before. Is that an ogre standing in the darkness over there? His sword hand starts trembling involuntarily, as his mind begins to race with the implications of what he is currently facing. It is not even trying to hide its presence. It clearly views me as nothing more than a piece of prey. Leonard frowns, dropping into a combat stance. Don't look down on me, you beast. He stares back with a challenging, fierce look. Come here, you mutt. Suddenly, a massive, earth-shaking impact echoes through the forest as something heavy slams into the ground nearby. Right before Leonard stands a ferocious wolf with jagged fangs lunging straight for his throat with a terrifying, bloodthirsty snarl. Before it can even land a single scratch, Leonard delivers a brutal counterattack that sends the beast flying backward. Smoke clears, and Leonard is standing firm with his arms up. Stop barking, you damn mutt. He sneers with pure contempt, with empty white eyes and drool dripping from its maw. The beast lets out a deafening roar that shakes the trees. You saw that, right? Leonard grips his wrist, shocked that a simple shift had such terrifying and overwhelming power behind it. He leaps high to avoid the ogre's swing. Suddenly, terrifying veins bulge on its arms, making the beast look even more monstrous. Leonard watches closely. Wait, the information I had on this monster is totally wrong. This ogre isn't normal. Usually, goblins are rank Eon, and they only reach E2 once they evolve into hobgoblins. A standard ogre is rank done. Most monsters in this world only have the capacity to evolve a single time, but the power coming from this thing doesn't feel like rank D2 at all. Leonard leans back to dodge another strike. He realizes he is facing a rank D3 ogre at this very moment. He just smirks. Well then, I guess I have got no choice but to go all out right now. His eyes glow red as he glares at the beast. Finally, a real training session that is actually worth my time and effort. The ogre panics, wildly swinging its weapon and tearing up the earth as dust and rocks fly everywhere in the chaos. Leonard lightly taps the axe blade with his toe. Wild swings like that are never going to touch me, you beast. He slams his sword into its head, then follows up by delivering a powerful and decisive slash straight at the monster's neck. But the ogre is fine. Sparks fly as its skin actually so hard that my blade cannot cut through it easily. The monster ignores the strike and slams its massive axe right down at the spot where he is currently standing. It gasps in shock when it realizes its heavy strike only hit empty ground and a cloud of rising dust. There is the opening. Trust me, you and I are going to want to see exactly what happens next in this fight. All right, you and I are diving into a high-stakes battle where one wrong move means death. Letting out a roar that stuns the beast, he realizes its muscles are tough, but its chin is wide open. Leonard drives his blade straight through the monster's jaw and out the very top of its head. Suddenly, glowing silver crystals begin to rain down from the dark sky above. Leonard is impressed. Finding high-grade essence stones in this ruined forest is a massive stroke of luck. One of these is worth 100 low-tier gems. With loot like this, his internal cultivation will skyrocket. The trainee knights under Henry didn't even bother looking here. Honestly, there is no reason for him to stay. The scene shifts to a heavy wooden door. Inside, a soft blue light glows as Leonard focuses his training, radiating a massive aura of raw power. Looking at his palms, he breaks into a cold sweat. Everything is moving fast. He is already at the 10th level of body tempering. Now here is where it gets tricky for our hero. Stick with me on this one. How can he get more resources without standing out? Suddenly, voices outside catch him off guard. Is he okay in there? It has been 3 whole months since he last came out. He hasn't moved an inch. Haydn wipes his brow and complains. Do we really have to check on him every single day? Jan insists they need to be the nice seniors. In the Cadenas family, connections are the ultimate weapon. A bond made here is worth more than any alliance with some random, small-time family. Plus, he is the top recruit. Even the commander has his eye on the guy. We at least have to say hello. Haydn, carrying a heavy water bucket, looks completely annoyed. Fine, I get it. Hey, rookie, are you still alive in there or what? You can't train well without eating. When silence follows, he wonders if the kid actually died. Let's just go. I don't hear a single sound coming from inside that room. Leonard narrows his eyes. These seniors are actually way nicer than he first thought, so that is why they were lurking around. Through the crack, he sees their faces clearly. His real progress is too obvious, but if he looks like a senior who has been here for 10 years, no one will notice. It has been a while. He wonders if he can still pull off this specific technique. Closing his eyes, Leonard uses muscle manipulation to literally reshape the bones and vessels in his face. A man with long white hair appears as his past memories start to flood back. You and I both know the trope, the legendary master hiding in plain sight. It is iconic. Leonard stares at his new hands and speaks. Perfect. They won't recognize him now. He practices his new voice, calling out to Haydn for help. 3 months later, at the Bone Mountain Swamp, the entire landscape looks like a desolate wasteland. Leonard reminds himself of the one golden rule for survival in a place like this. Every single creature in this cursed hellhole is a threat to your life. They're all poisonous and masters of hiding. One mistake, and you are finished. Don't get careless. He narrows his eyes, disguised as Haydn, knowing the predators are waiting beneath the swamp. Even a standard lizard is category C rank. They are way more dangerous than that mutated beast from before. There are too many of them. He needs to end this in one strike. Stomping his foot down, Leonard launches himself at a lamine, taking the monster down with a single, crushing blow. He coldly finishes it off, but then he feels a sudden shift in the air. That might have been a bit too loud. It looks like the boss of this area is finally awake. Leonard spins around, just as a layman charges at him, brandishing a razor-sharp spear. The creature screeches in shock. Leonard just mocks it. calling its movements way too predictable. And that is where we leave him, trust me. You are going to want to see what happens next. Alright, you and I are jumping right into the action with Leonard, a man who has zero time for weaklings. Check out that diamond. He glances back at the glowing loot, filling his bag and smirks with pure satisfaction. 1,500 mid-grade crystals collected. It is finally time to push for the next stage. His mind is already racing with a plan to find a new training ground. Since the total mana inside these 1,500 crystals is more than enough for a major breakthrough. Now, pay attention, because this breakthrough process is about to get extremely violent and intense. Currently, he is at the 10th level of body tempering, hiding his true identity behind the face of Haydn. But if he triggers a massive breakthrough here on Karabagos Island, keeping his secrets will be impossible. Leonard moves forward with a graceful step, lightly swinging his blade through the air. He needs a hidden spot to suppress his power. Suddenly, he freezes, catching sight of something strange out of the corner of his eye. Is that an open field just up ahead? He is stunned to find spirit herbs, with a mana absorption rate even higher than his crystals. Could that monster guarding the cave actually be the one farming all of these herbs? Suddenly, the beast lets out a sharp cry, and Leonard quickly drops to the ground. Something is charging in fast. A massive gust of wind erupts exactly where the monster stood. A vicious lycanthrope appears with its jaws wide open. Leonard immediately recognizes the savage beast. The ground cracks under the nose as if a mountain of pressure just landed. A barrier flares up, stopping the lycanthrope cold. Leonard watches closely as the monster retreats in frustration. Are they really fighting over territory? The whole ground is shaking from the impact. These monsters can already control the forces of nature? This is absolutely unreal. It is manipulating tons of rock effortlessly. Even for Leonard, a feat like that would be difficult. Check this out. These two massive monsters are perfectly matched in both speed and raw power, and neither is willing to back down. Both monsters roar at once, desperate to prove their dominance. He watches silently. This battle is definitely not going to end anytime soon. Leonard sees his opening and immediately leaps toward the cave entrance. While they are busy killing each other, he will slip inside and explore the cave. If a monster that strong is guarding this place, there must be valuable treasure inside. Inside, only his footsteps echo. The chaotic noise from outside has already completely vanished. This is the perfect spot. A pale yellow glow appears up ahead. What kind of place is this hidden deep in the mountain? A golden tree radiates brilliant light. Leonard breaks into a cold sweat at the sight. Did that monster really grow these? Something about those green leaves feels very strange. There are so many herbs here, yet he could feel nothing from the outside. Leonard extends his hand, releasing a focused burst of blue energy. The attack slams into a thick barrier. He smirks, finally understanding the secret of this place. This shield hides everything. Now, what exactly is that glowing golden tree over there? Every part of this cave is bizarre. What species is that tree? He reaches out his hand, gently touching the shimmering golden leaves. Is this really a high-tier spirit plant? It might be even higher. That monster probably has no idea what this is worth, so he will break through here. Suddenly, his eyes snap wide open. As soon as he sees the battered and bloody form of the no monster, Leonard mutters that they have a guest, while a sudden streak of light flashes past at high speed. He bolts forward like a literal arrow shot from a bow. Due to the mana masking field, he did not even notice the beast approaching. It looks heavily wounded from battle. Luckily, its battle scars from the previous fight are still fresh and unhealed. Stick around, because the power this beast just unleashed is absolutely godlike, making the very earth fly into the air. Stick with me, we are about to witness a masterclass in survival as Leonard dodges through falling debris. The exit is blocked, and he knows it. Is this beast trying to trap him inside instead of fighting? A wild, excited grin spreads across Leonard's face as he prepares his counterattack. Fine then, have it your way. I am taking you down, no matter what. The entrance is completely sealed now, leaving them in total darkness with no way out. Inside, the battered monster lashes out. Leonard weaves through the chaos, analyzing his opponent's every move. Did this thing already realize it cannot keep up with my speed? It is throwing rocks everywhere like a desperate animal. This is getting messy. Leon uses a flying boulder as a stepping stone, knowing that just one mistake means instant death. This monster is sharper than it looks. Leonard decides to stop playing around and charges straight in. Pure energy radiates from his body as he storms forward with terrifying intensity. I am finishing this in one shot. He drives his blade deep into the monster's mouth, drawing a loud and pained scream from it. He does not stop there, dragging the blade through to maximize the damage. But the monster is armored in stone. If he cannot break that defense, he is in serious trouble. Now watch closely. This monster's strike is heavy enough to shatter the very ground beneath them. The beast slowly raises its massive fist, preparing for another earth-shaking blow. So that is how Henry lost. You have been a dual element user this whole time, have you not? The creature grinds its teeth in fury at being exposed. It stomps the ground with enough force to make the entire cavern tremble. Close-range combat is not going to cut it anymore against a monster this size. That heat would melt me in a second. I need one perfect opening for a finishing strike. Leonard vanishes into a blur. He spots the weakness in its legs. Now is his chance. With killing intent in his eyes, he leaps and delivers a brutal kick to the monster's knee. This feeling. It is actually kind of nostalgic, is it not? He delivers a crushing blow straight to the chin. Everything ends right here. Right now, a thunderous boom echoes as the beast reels back. Leonard quickly retreats, sticking to the cavern wall. He uses every ounce of his remaining strength to launch himself back at the monster. He aims his sharp blade right at the center. It is too late for you now. His sword, surging with massive power, pierces through. But Leonard's eyes suddenly widen in shock. I hit the heart. So why does it feel like something is wrong? Something is happening inside it. A bright, eerie red light begins to pulse from within the creature's chest. Okay, I know what you are thinking, victory? Not quite. Look closely, because that glowing stone is about to blow sky high. Flames erupt everywhere, licking at the grass. Yet the greenery strangely remains untouched by the heat. This is bad. If he explodes at this range, I am not going to make it. Another massive blast goes off, sending Leonard flying back through the air. He slams into a tree with a sickening crack. My bones. I think everything is broken. Leonard lies there, his body broken and covered in blood. This cave will be ashes in 5 minutes, and nobody is coming to save me in this hole. If I die here, no one will ever know what really happened. I need to reach a higher realm to heal. He grabs a mana stone from the ground. I am going all the way, he screams, clutching the gem with everything he has left. He closes his eyes as the mana begins to flood his shattered body, repairing his circuits. It is a miracle. He can feel himself healing, but it is still not enough power. He looks at the spirit herbs nearby. He needs every single one of them to survive. He is shoving those herbs down his throat. Trust me, you and I need to see what happens next. All right, you and I are about to witness the moment a legend truly begins. His 5 mana cores are spinning wildly, while overwhelming energy surges through his body like a storm. It honestly feels like his heart has been replaced by something far more powerful than any human heart. Leonard is now completely surrounded by a glowing, intense light blue aura. Both his stamina and mana have fully recovered as he reaches a brand new level of power. Now, watch closely. This power is surging way past any normal human limit. Why is it still growing after he's already surpassed his boundaries? It's like the heart of a dragon. Leonard sits beneath the tree, focusing every ounce of his spirit to recover. His eyes widen in surprise as the realization hits him. His mana has merged perfectly, and his rank just leaped straight to the 3rd level of external power. The seniors have been stuck at level 2 for years. This is going to send shockwaves through all of Cadenas. He stares at the incredible force flowing through his own veins. His wounds are gone, and his mana circulation is faster and stronger than ever before. He clenches his fist, shocked that breaking through a single rank could grant this much progress. Looking up at the massive tree, he's genuinely confused. How on earth did he survive that terrifying explosion while trapped inside such a small, enclosed space? The heat should have been fatal. Leonard's eyes narrow as he spots something. There is something glowing hanging from one of the branches. He reaches out, and the light fades, revealing a single, mysterious fruit. He realizes this massive spirit energy is what shielded him and the cave from the fire. Holding the fruit in his hand feels completely natural to him. He wonders if the tree really sucked up every single drop of his mana before turning around and promising that he would replant a brand new seed for it later. Looking back, that tree really did save his life. Leonard bolts from the cave, knowing he'll be suspected if he's late returning. A massive boom echoes as he blasts through the rocks, blocking the entrance. He emerges from the rubble without a single scratch on him. You and I both know that confident smile. He's sweating, but he's officially realized he's become way too strong. He hopes he didn't overdo it as the city walls appear in the distance. He checks the fur on his shoulder. He's back just in time. Seeing his messy clothes, he decides to clean up before any seniors start asking difficult questions. He has spent every day training with them for the past 3 months. Suddenly, Black Hair lets out a startled shout. Sweating, he points toward the door. Hey, look! The door is opening by itself. Hen stares at the scene in total shock, wondering when that even started happening. Jan runs over with a huge grin, introducing himself as Leonard's senior. Leonard gives a polite bow and introduces himself while holding his sword. He asks for a sparring match, claiming his swordsmanship has hit a bit of a wall recently. Yan is taken aback, asking if he's really okay to fight. Leonard calmly replies that it would be an absolute honor to learn. Yan brushes back his hair, confidently accepting the challenge. Hen watches helplessly and calls out to Yan, but Yan just smirks and tells Leonard to follow him so he can demonstrate the true style of a Cadenas knight. Leonard smiles inwardly. He has everything right where he wants it. Yan's eyes bulge in shock as he's suddenly launched into the air. The match is over. Yan was completely defeated. Ga hits the ground and immediately throws in the towel. Black Hair can't even track Leonard's speed and grinds his teeth in frustration. He wonders how a beginner could possibly possess this level of skill. A sudden strike comes at him, forcing Black Hair to block by pure reflex. Red energy flares on Black Hair's arm as Yan screams in total shock. Trust me, you and I are going to want to see how this fight ends. Why would you use mana for this? His face goes pale as all three of them rush over in a total panic. Stick with me, because this main character is anything but ordinary. Haydn yells, Leon, are you okay? Leonard looks at his smoking hand and fumbles for an excuse. Sorry, it was just a reflex, a self-defense move. He realizes that mana alone can deal damage. In this world, it seems sword skills are not the only way to win. A small, sharp smirk creeps onto his face as his thoughts begin to race. He originally just wanted to pay them back for the disguise, but now he knows there is a lot to learn. Haydn is still shaking, asking if he is mad. But Leonard just grabs his sword with that same injured hand. With a bright smile, he says, I really want to keep training with you guys. This is going to be fun. The guy is stunned. You seriously want to keep going after that? Leonard admits he wants to do this every day. Meanwhile, Yan is biting his nails, sweating bullets. Fine. We will stop by your tent often. To build these connections, Leonard knows he cannot let this chance slip. A knock echoes against the wood. Yan pulls at his hair, looking stressed as he delivers some news. Leon, you in? Tonight is cancelled. Leonard opens the door, wondering what happened and where the others are. He notices their gear looks different today. He starts wondering, are they heading out for a real battle? Now pay attention, because this is where the story gets really wild. Haven't you heard about the massive explosion nearby? It is causing pure chaos, so he rushed over to warn him. Hearing this, Leonard finally feels relieved. Good, he thinks. It looks like I am not a suspect for that mess. Yan explains the rumor. A werewolf and a giant demon from the true devil realm fought a brutal battle over territory. The demon was burnt to ashes, and the werewolf died a gruesome death completely skinned. He gets serious, saying it was a terrifying duel. Now that the bosses are dead, weak monsters are swarming in. They have to go clean up the mess for their night training. You are not ready for combat yet. Stay here. You are not at that level yet. Just stay back and relax. Suddenly, Yan reaches behind his back. Almost forgot. I got a little gift for you. He tosses swords onto the dirt. You probably broke a bunch of blades already, right? They are nothing fancy. I brought you 5 swords. They should get the job done. Leonard is speechless. Thank you so much. Yan just smiles. When you get famous, don't forget about me, okay? Leonard nods. I promise, Senior Yan. Yan leaves but gives one last warning. Do not go wandering off tonight. Most of the island knights are busy at the marsh. He thinks Leonard will be fine, but still, be careful, he says. Sometimes sword skills are not enough. Leonard takes the advice to heart. He cannot believe the incident drew the entire night order. One wrong move, and he is in deep trouble. You and I both know this is the perfect chance to strike. With everyone distracted, he can finally move. The sound of his footsteps rings out through the silence. Leonard pulls up his hood. He could be bold now, but using his reversal technique is still too risky. Since the senior's locations are known, he has to be careful. If he gets spotted looking like Haydn, it will just trigger a brand new wave of chaos. He looks annoyed. It is a bit disgusting, but I will have to use the werewolf skin disguise instead. He tells himself that with everyone at the marsh, he is free to roam. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. He looks toward the other side of the training grounds. Time to explore the owl fields. Leonard takes it all in. It is so quiet out here. He senses enemies nearby and waits for them to strike. Go ahead. Watch me from that thick fog. He can clearly feel their murderous intent. But for some reason, they are not jumping out to attack him yet. He mutters to himself while walking. Are they being cautious? Or have they just lost their courage? At this rate, he is just wasting time. Suddenly, a bird dives from the sky at incredible speed. It stops right in front of him, staring him down. Leonard greets his first opponent. Are you the first challenger? Trust me, you are going to want to see what happens next. An Albie? You are the perfect test for my skills. All right, you and I are diving into a story where the hunters are about to become the prey. The fifth ghost of Sit stands before his crew, reporting they have already lost 2 members to the journey. They failed to ride the updraft and plunged into the sea. Look at this, all that sacrifice for their kingdom, he cries out in frustration. Is the universe really going to ignore their pure devotion like this? But he uses that grief as fuel. Their deaths won't be in vain. They must complete this mission at any cost. For the Sit Kingdom. He roars the order. They must capture that Cadenas trainee and bring him back alive. They intend to strip away the secrets of that filthy bloodline once and for all. The crew scatters to their posts. No mercy. Even if the target is just a child, they are pure evil. Meanwhile, out in a scorched wasteland, where the sun beats down without mercy, Gron is sprinting through the desert, panic setting in. Somehow, he got separated from the others during the chaos. He wonders just how many high A-rank monsters are lurking on this godforsaken island. Without his captain, he is too terrified to fight. What could those Cadenas monsters possibly be planning here? He keeps a tight grip on his mask while running, but strangely, no monsters have tried to attack yet. Gron feels a wave of relief. Maybe the monsters actually get weaker the deeper you go into the island. Or maybe someone else already cleared them out. Regardless, he spots a massive creature ahead and charges right in. That looks like an owlbear. It is strong, but he is confident he can take it down alone. He goes for a lethal strike, only to realize the monster is already finished. Wait, how long has this thing been dead? Standing atop the carcass, he looks around. Is there really someone else on this island doing his job for him? Now watch this. Our main character isn't just strong. He's a master of the battlefield who's already cleared the path. He bats it away easily. Who is hiding there? Suddenly, Leonard steps out with a question of his own. That is exactly the question I wanted to ask. Gron stares at him in total disbelief, his voice trembling with shock. It is like his voice is trapped in his throat. Leonard demands to know, "Who are you exactly?" The boy prepares his power. "You can't speak? Fine. I will just have to beat the truth out of you myself." Gron panics, as he realizes he has lost his voice. Cursed. He grips his sword, ready to strike back. He swings with everything he has got. Leonard casually dodges, noting the pure killing intent behind that blade. Clearly, you're not planning to hold back. Leonard effortlessly neutralizes every single one of the man's desperate strikes. Gron is stunned by the kid's talent. How is a mere child blocking every one of his best moves? Leonard kicks off the ground and lunges forward. He delivers a heavy blow before the assassin can even react, but Leonard frowns. That strike did not do nearly as much damage as he expected. The cut was shallow. Was it blocked by a hidden magic artifact? Gron suddenly unleashes a secret technique, and a terrifying golden serpent coils out. You and I both know that when the villain pulls out a secret move, things are about to get wild. Leonard sees through the trick instantly. So, you were hiding something nasty inside that blade of yours? It is a dirty assassination technique, striking like a venomous snake in the dark. He rushes Gron with a smirk. It is still too amateur. Your movements are so obvious it is boring. They clash in a blur of steel. Leonard scoffs, "Have you only ever fought weaklings your entire life?" Gron smiles despite the pressure. He uses a mysterious energy to lock Leonard's blade in place. He gloats. "I almost feel bad for you, kid. I cannot believe you just threw your sword away." But Gron's jaw drops. Did this brat really just toss his only weapon aside on purpose? Leonard clenches his fist, winding up a punch that looks absolutely devastating. He isn't bothered by the weapon lock at all. "Did you think I was useless without a sword?" That is the logic of a child. He lands a massive haymaker that sends Gron flying back. Unbelievable. Gron's face is completely battered, but he cannot help but marvel at the boy's raw power and his insane ability to make such bold decisions. Has he already awakened the power of that supposedly cursed and filthy bloodline? As night falls over the wasteland, Leonard casually strolls over and ties the assassin to a nearby tree. "Trust me, you and I are going to want to see how this interrogation goes down next time." All right. You and I are about to watch a captive learn a very painful lesson. Gron is tied up, but he won't stop shouting insults. "Coward." He spits the word at Leonard. "You filthy Cadenas demon. How dare you use such wretched power to trample on my pride? I will never forgive you." Hearing that, Leonard just stands there, completely unfazed by the threat. He points at the enemy weapon, which is leaking a strange magic, and fires back. "What on earth are you rambling about? Aren't you using a similar magic artifact yourself? Calling me a coward while holding that? You really are a fool." The man refuses to back down, clinging to his own twisted logic to argue back. "Shut up. There is no such thing as playing dirty against a Cadenas. I will expose that freakish power you are hiding." Leonard raises a fist, leaving the man confused. He screams out in pure desperation. Just kill me and get it over with. Leonard speaks coldly. Whether you live or die is my decision. You do not even have the right to beg for death. Now watch this. Because Gron is not backing down. Even facing death, he swears he will never say a word. You brat with the tainted blood. Leonard stops at that. Tainted blood? You are talking about the Cadenas family, aren't you? Leonard looks at his blood-stained hand and thinks, while the man keeps buzzing in his ear like a fly. You cannot deny the sins flowing through your own veins. He says it bluntly. Being raised in that evil family, you must know the truth better than anyone. You people are not even human. If a monster with freakish power appears, it was definitely born from your kind. Leonard asks, you seem to know quite a bit. Let us see how much you actually know. Gron keeps questioning him. Answer me. If your blood has no secrets, why are no branch families allowed to live outside the borders? He believes that if their ancestor was truly legitimate, they would have no reason to hide anything. Hearing that, Leonard blanks out for a moment. Then he turns and mocks the man's logic. Are you that jealous of Cadena's wealth and power? Enough to throw away a knight's honor to kidnap children? If you wanted a fair fight, why use these cheap restraints? He mocks him. Even if our secrets are out, you stay the same. Trash from the borders with zero power and zero honor. He leans in with a murderous gaze. With that pathetic pride of yours, how do you plan to face your ancestors? Gron snaps back fearlessly. Do not be arrogant, boy. How dare you insult the name of Sit? I know what you are thinking, and Leonard is thinking it too. So, you are from Sit? Then he delivers a fatal blow. When the mind is a mess, people forget the obvious. The man only manages to spit out 2 words. Damn it. Leonard warns him. Your mana circuit is open and you are dying. But before you go, tell me everything you know. A flashback begins. Kogut, a small kingdom on the western side of the continent. Centuries ago, it was a holy land for knights. That was before Cadena's Red Dragon Knights crushed the Knights of Sit. With just one loss, the world forgot Kogut, and Cadenas became the brand new holy land for knights. Leonard asks, so you attacked Cadenas just to reclaim your former glory? Before he can answer, Leonard adds, and you wanted to dig up their blood secrets. I am actually quite curious about that too. Leonard thinks of dangerous foes. The main issue is that there are transcended beings currently on this island. He grips his sword. I have to report this to Lord Bradley. His sword starts glowing with a mysterious light. Gathering power, he thinks to himself. The enemy is the Shadow Clan Knights of Sit. He points his sword at Gron, feeling worried. Most knights on the island are just trainees. This is far too dangerous. Leonard slashes him, and blood sprays everywhere. You called yourself the third ghost, right? Time for your performance. Everything is changing, and it forces him to rethink his entire plan. I do not have time to explain. I just need proof of Swordmaster level enemies here. He looks at his sword. Still just a fake? A dry wind blows, blurring everything with dust. But this should be enough for now. Leonard decides, I will take these magic tools. He carries the man on his shoulder, ready to leave. Any objections? He walks across the hard ground. Elsewhere, a group of tents are set up close together. 3 people are finally relaxing after being busy. Yeah, we have not rested properly since the deployment started. They chat while walking. Please, let nothing happen tonight. Hey Jan, what is that over there? You and I just watched the hunter become the hunted. They find a body on the ground. It is Gron. Get Bradley here. Now, stick with me. Because a single look at these wounds reveals a terrifying truth. He is deep in thought, staring at the marks of sword aura, a high-level technique only true masters can unleash. He glances at the letter found nearby. It seems the warning in those pages was real all along. The crumpled paper reads like a confession, filled with regret for attacking the young trainees. Bradley mutters under his breath. The Shadow Knight division of Sit is packed with high-level elites, led by a commander in the Transcendence realm, and they are heading straight for the trainees. He grits his teeth in frustration. Even with everyone gathered, they can only stall for time. That leader is the real nightmare. Bradley barks out an order. Jan, sound the alarm across the entire island. This is an absolute emergency. Jan rushes to obey. The atmosphere on the island shifts instantly, turning suffocatingly tense as the weight of the situation finally sinks in. Everyone is in a frantic rush, footsteps echoing as they scramble. Leonard watches, knowing everything is playing out exactly as he predicted. So, they are calling a mass assembly? It looks like Bradley finally caught on to my plan. The commander stands before the crowd. Listen up. This is not a drill. We have powerful enemies invading Karabagos Island at this very moment. The crowd goes silent, hanging on his every word. The details Bradley reveals send a wave of pure anxiety through the ranks. We are looking at 30 enemies far beyond rank 8, including at least one knight who has reached the Transcendence realm. Now, pay attention, because you and I need to understand just how lethal a Transcendence ranker really is. Just look at Captain Fabian of the Azure Dragons. These people are basically walking natural disasters. To monsters like that, even the Eastern Army is irrelevant. Bradley lays out the only two choices left. Now, pick. Option 1 is to open the portal and run, abandoning the island while we wait for reinforcements. The second path is far grimmer. Option 2 is to stay here and fight to the end. Cadenas trainees, decide now. Leonard remains eerily calm amidst the storm. A real battle like this will be an unforgettable experience if they survive. Even if they run, no one could blame them. But the reaction from the other trainees actually catches him completely off guard. They are resolute, their eyes burning with determination. "We are fighting," they shout, hands gripping their sword hilts with newfound confidence. "We will not go down that easily. We have grown stronger too." Leonard watches them, realizing he might have misjudged his peers. Picking up a blade when death is staring you down is not easy. But they are knights. After all, I definitely underestimated them. The trainees raise their swords high, their voices booming in unison. "We will fight." The scene is electric, filled with raw power. Seeing their spirit, a small, proud smile finally touches Bradley's face. He swings the massive doors open, praising their courage while remaining cautious about the brutal reality ahead. "Fine, I respect that. But a Transcendence Master is a different beast. We will call for Captain Fabian's support immediately. Everyone, steel your hearts." Meanwhile, Leonard is already slipping away toward a hidden location. He stops at the secret tunnel he dug himself. "Looks like I will be using this bunker after all." He focuses on the task. "I am still technically protected, so they are sending me to evacuate. Honestly, you and I know this just makes things way easier. Time for a gear check." We love this part. Leonard sifts through his loot, but sadly, most of it is junk. It looks like only this magic ring is still functional. But then, something strange happens. The gemstone begins to glow. He watches the stone start to fade, realizing his own heart is actively blocking the external mana from entering. Well, if that is the case, then any magic artifacts are going to be useless for me. He sifts through the pile and realizes the only useful item is a Shadow Clan transmitter, and luckily, he already forced the instructions out of Ghost 30. "If I find them, I will ambush. If they spot me, I will use this as bait." Leonard stops hiding and starts his move. The only real threat is that Swordmaster. Leonard's gaze sharpens with a cold, unwavering resolve. "I will not let you bastards do whatever you want." He sprints toward the open field, calculating his next move. There is a signal for reinforcements. Probably was not that Transcendence boss who called it. "They still do not know who I am, right?" He moves with total conviction. "While they are in chaos, I will finish this. Just wait. I am coming for you." Elsewhere in the Barrens, a violent purple light swirls across the ground, creating a massive vortex that sends dust and rock flying. Men in black cloaks are being torn apart by something unseen. "You cowardly bastards." One of them screams through the pain. Facing the overwhelming power of the creature, the cloaked men can only groan in agony. What is wrong with this island? We do not have the strength to deal with something like this. The monster's form is grotesque. As it lashes out with black energy, you and I are going to want to see what happens next. All right, stick with me, because this mission has just gone south. The retreat is on, and everyone is prioritizing the mission objective while allies rush in. One of them shouts in pure shock. "Please tell me that ally they are talking about is not actually him." Leonard appears out of nowhere and starts cleaning house. He just finished off 3 of their own, and the survivors are starting to panic. How does he know how to use that? Leonard just stares calmly at the guys in black cloaks while explaining the situation. "I barely threatened him, and he spilled everything. Turns out this big organization you guys worship is actually pretty pathetic. They lose it and charge him at once. You bastard." But Leonard just stands there in the chaos, dual-wielding his swords like it is nothing. "We will avenge our brothers." The fire-cloaked men charge with pure rage, but one of them gets dropped before he can even blink. "Shut up. This is revenge for my friend, you Cadenas demon." The other guy freezes after seeing his partner get wrecked so easily. Leonard reminds them that they have clearly forgotten who they are dealing with. Suddenly, his attention shifts. That twisted manticore beast is gearing up for another deadly lunge. Now here is where it gets wild. Watch this monster charge. Lion body, snake tail, and a face like a goblin mixed with a dog. This is a nightmare. Leonard scans it, wondering if the rumors are true. They say the faces tell you its strength. But wait, is that a human face too? What the hell are you? The monster actually seems to understand him, stopping in its tracks for a split second. Then it speaks. Human. Hearing a monster use actual words sends a chill right down Leonard's spine. It can talk? The beast turns away and admits that if it fights Leonard right now, it is going to die. Leonard is impressed by its caution. It can actually read his power level? That is terrifying. But then the monster says something cryptic. It claims it won't die easily. It just needs to stall long enough for him to arrive. Now, Leonard is getting curious. The monster drops a bombshell. Someone way stronger than me is coming. Leonard looks at the bodies and wonders if it is their leader. They call him the fifth ghost. Apparently, he is more dangerous than anything else on this island. He thinks of the Swordmasters. At his current level, he knows he cannot win that fight. Leonard starts to weigh his options very carefully. If the beast is telling the truth, staying here is suicide. But he still acts tough and questions it. You think I would trust a monster? The creature's red eyes glow as it gets close, daring him to try his luck. Leonard turns his back and sheathes a blade. I will let you go this time, but do not expect a second chance. Big talk, right? Wait for it. You and I both know Leonard is not just walking away. The monster roars as he leaves. Just as he planned, Leonard spins around and hurls his sword, coated in a massive surge of blue energy, straight at the beast. The strike is devastating. A direct hit to the head. That weird monster never stood a chance against that raw power. You knew? It growls in pain, trying to launch one desperate counterattack. Leonard does not miss. He slashes through with both blades, tearing into the creature. That is the second hit, right in the lungs. The third strike pierces the heart. You are right. I cannot stay here. I am out. And just like that, he disappears. Suddenly, a stone begins to glow with an intense light. Leonard stares at it, completely caught off guard by the power. He ditches the necklace. He is here. A masked man in a cloak lands with enough force to shake the very ground and the trees. The man leans down and picks up the stone that is still pulsing with that eerie blue light. He sounds full of regret. I am too late. If I had reached you sooner, we could have changed the world together. He is sharp. He swings his blade with a green aura exploding outward. Who is there? He knows someone is watching. Leonard is pressed against a rock, hiding for his life. He needs to get out of there, fast. He sensed me from that far away. If I stay, I am dead. Leonard burns through every trick he has just to escape. Who knew his digging skill would actually save his life? He has to stay hidden until this guy leaves the area. The man stands still, scanning the surroundings. Maybe it was just my imagination? No, that does not sound like me. He decides the mission is off track, and his instincts are failing. He walks away, leaving the graveyard of swords behind. Rest in peace. Your sacrifice won't be wasted. Sleep well. His words are cold, but strangely final. He mutters that the goal is finished and leaves. Then, a hand bursts from the dirt as Leonard finally resurfaces. A wounded soldier leaning against a tree spots him. Who are you? You are late, Knight of Cadenas. Way too late. A trainee? The knight knows he is finished. He begs Leonard to tell the others what happened here before he passes on. One swordmaster killed 43 knights instantly. Trust me, you and I are not ready for what happens next. You and I are jumping into a nightmare. 8 trainee knights are missing, snatched away by the enemy before anyone could even blink. Leonard scans the area, his mind racing as he realizes they have actually been taken. He wonders how the hell they managed to drag hostages through here and vanish without a single trace. Think about it, their goal is collecting test subjects, so they need those captives alive and secured for transport. If that is the case, there is only one method that actually makes sense. Mass teleportation, a high-tier magic that moves a whole group instantly. Leonard looks off into the distance, narrowing his eyes. Time is running out. They have already got what they came for. He starts mapping out their probable path. To move that many people, they would need a massive open space, which means he knows exactly where they are heading. Leonard presses the surviving knight for more intel. Is Sir Bradley already out there chasing them down? The exhausted knight confirms that Bradley has his men scouring every inch of the region. Leonard nods, absorbing the info. He tells the knight to just stay put and rest, which leaves the poor guy looking completely baffled. Before the knight can even ask why, Leonard strikes, knocking him out cold. Sorry, but Bradley is headed the wrong way. Leonard hauls the unconscious man onto his shoulder. He needs a way to show Bradley what is actually happening before it is too late. If he does not, Cadenas is going to be wiped out, but who is going to listen to a lowly intern trainee? He settles on a plan. He will just have to physically lure Bradley to the real location himself. Meanwhile, Bradley is leading his squad through the woods, cursing up a storm because the enemies seem to have vanished. He is fuming about their lack of knightly honor when suddenly, he spots movement. Who is there? Stick with me here, because this is where Leonard makes his move. The soldiers scramble into position, expecting a sudden attack. Dressed in an enemy disguise, Leonard takes off. He effortlessly glides past the group, leaving Bradley screaming at his men to catch him. Don't just stand there like idiots. Hunt down that intruder right now. Leonard sees them biting the bait and smiles. Perfect. Just keep following me, and do not lose the trail. A barrage of swords flies his way, but Leonard just casually steps onto a moving blade and surfs through the air. He is moving like gravity does not even exist, leaping from point to point before landing softly on the forest floor. Bradley is right on his heels, blade drawn and ready. For an enemy scout, this guy is incredibly fast. Leonard's plan is working. He has led them exactly where he wanted while dodging Bradley's powerful, earth-shaking swings. Bradley is losing his mind. Why won't this brat just stand still and fight like a man? Suddenly, they hit the shoreline. Bradley realizes they have reached the coast. Leonard watches from the shadows, hoping Bradley can survive. The real enemy is about to step out. A strange, menacing suit of armor appears from the mist. A cloaked figure walks forward, radiating pure killing intent. So, someone actually found their way here. No need to rush to your death. You and I both know this guy looks like trouble. Bradley calls him a dog of Cadenas. As they start trading insults, the villain claims this is just the start of a grand destiny. Bradley scoffs, since when is kidnapping children a grand destiny? You are not leaving this island alive, so you might as well surrender now. The cloaked man just laughs. Did you really think we would land here without a foolproof plan? He smiles beneath that hood. He raises his hand, creating a sudden surge of air. It is over for you people. You have already lost. Bradley recognizes the spell. It is the mass teleportation. He lunges forward, but the boss is way too confident. It takes 15 minutes to fully charge. In the meantime, I will take you on myself just to kill the boredom. The two clash in a brutal duel. Bradley is fighting with everything he has got, but he is clearly being pushed to his limit. Leonard is watching from high above, praying that Bradley can just hold on for a few more minutes. I am going to get those knights back, Leonard promises. Nearby, a glowing magic circle begins to manifest. This is the enemy gathering point for the kidnapped trainees, and Leonard has already slipped into their ranks, disguised and dangerous. Even with his presence hidden, the boss does not even look his way. They are too focused on the fight to notice him. Leonard slips inside the holding area. The prisoners are bound by eerie, glowing magic chains that hum with dark energy. But even dark magic is no match for Leonard's blade. He strikes with surgical precision. The chains shatter instantly. The freed knights look up, confused and suspicious. Wait, why are you helping us? That is where we leave it. You and I need to see how Leonard gets them out. Stay tuned. All right, you and I are about to meet a main character who has zero time for nonsense. Get out. Everyone stares at him in total shock. Even with death looming, these knights maintain their noble etiquette and offer a very deep, respectful thank you for saving them. They vanish into the night, leaving him alone in the tent. Good, that is the hostage situation finally handled. Leonard smirks, grabbing his twin blades before heading out. He is about to show no mercy to the fools waiting outside. He strikes quickly, not giving them a single moment to react. Time to take out the trash. He handles them one by one. Meanwhile, things have turned ugly for Bradley, who just lost his entire arm. Now watch this part carefully. That hooded boss is chillingly calm, calling this massacre a warm-up while Bradley struggles to stop the bleeding. Damn it, he declares the game is over. Soon, the name of Kijit will stand at the absolute peak of swordsmanship once again. Suddenly, he senses it. Someone is coming to ruin their entire plan. The boss takes off instantly, leaving Bradley behind. Leonard senses the abnormal pressure too. The ground literally shatters as a powerful figure lands right in front of him. Leonard enters his phantom stance, but the fifth phantom just sighs in cold disappointment. He cannot believe the one killing his men is just some kid. To honor his fallen comrades, he is getting serious. He points his blade with deadly intent, swearing to send Leonard to his grave. Trust me, you and I won't want to miss what comes next.